M7 World Championship. Let the world see us.
Welcome back to the M7 World Championship, and you see the arena has filled up with Indonesian and Alter Ego fans as they will be going up against Aurora Gaming Philippines for the second and last match of the day. We welcome you back to the English broadcast. My name is Renmar, still here with Leo, Gideon, Mirko, and Trex. And what a sight to behold to everyone making noise right there. Terima kasih. Everyone is so great. The energy in the arena is alive. But Mirko and Trex, how are you two feeling after casting that first series?
Yeah, I'm feeling great. If there's a way to pump the crowd up, to pump the viewers back at home up, it's definitely that first match, man. It's definitely a way to set the tone for the rest of the knockout stage.
It's a way to make sure that people don't want to miss out on a game or a series just because they thought it wasn't going to be hype. At this point, all braces are off.
And I am excited to see what Aurora Gaming Philippines and Alter Ego has in store for us. You're going to hear a little bit more from Mirko and Trex later on as they will be casting this series here on the English broadcast. But I'm still here with my esteemed panel in Leo and Gideon. And pretty familiar feelings. You guys were here at the M4 World Championship at the height of all the Indonesian teams. And very familiar vibe for you guys?
Is it weird? I don't know if you'll agree with me. It's familiar, but very different. Same, but not at all.
Totally agree. Mainly because of the representatives here. I think this is one of the few times we were expecting that the Indonesian entire crowd was going to show up, but the support and love for AE can be felt in the arena.
There's Alter champs all over, inside and out, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, they're still making their way into the stadium.
And that was Ghostface from Scream in the crowd too, as we are going to be watching Indonesia and Philippines, their fate rekindles rivalry, as these two teams, who were the second placers in their home region tournaments, defeated their own champions to make it to this spot here.
A tale as old as time in MLBB esports, Indonesia versus the Philippines. Is there a more iconic rivalry? Because again, even if Malaysia-Philippines has become more recent, I think you can't say no to a match between the two world champion regions.
It's a classic. It's a classic if you've been in the scene for a very long time. It's one of those matchups that you cannot just miss because you know that the sparks are going to be flying and the best Mobile Legends is going to be put on the stage.
It's a rivalry almost as old as the M series itself. It finally gets another chapter after Fate brought these two redemption-seeking squads together. And that's going to be the main story and focus for these two. Redemption. They've both gone through their fair share of heartbreaks, not just in recent memory, but for a good amount of the memory for these two organizations. Obviously, Aurora being younger compared to Alter Ego in the MLBB scene. But now, I feel like going into this is going to be a tougher test for Aurora because it is not 5v5. It is, what, close to 1,000 versus 5?
I feel like we've talked about this many times. When it comes down to crowds and silencing them, I think that the Philippines really knows how to put that full stop.
You see here the two poster boys of the matchup, Nino and Edward. Storyline from second place to world championship contenders for these two. Alter Ego, not a lot of expectations for their season, but they then brought honor to the Alter champs by finally making it back to the M series. Meanwhile, for Aurora, a different, more heartbreaking story. Dominating majority of MPLPH before falling to Team Liquid in the grand finals.
Consistency, talent, excellence, and loyalty. These two faces are icons of that. Nino waited, 10 seasons to finally step foot on international stage. And here's the thing, Edward, he's been here literally for the past half a decade. He's been here and he's still kicking and he's looking to beat the allegations on behalf of his squad.
I mean, honestly, I think that there's a lot of things that we're going to be addressing throughout this match, but I'm leaning towards AE because when you're talking about, yes, of course, Nino is going to be leading the charge, but what about the rest of the team? They have no international experience in comparison to this Filipino powerhouse coming from halfway across the world. Within Southeast Asia, we know that they are better, but the hunger we see in AE is different.
Aurora are a roster filled with World Championship MSC contenders, some of the best in the world, while Alter Ego have the hungriest players. Even Yasuke, a rookie, looks good this M Series. Let's watch this for more information on them.
All the hard work that they did in the regular season.
Alter Ego, so close yet so far.
Menurut aku di international turnamen orang-orang pasti mikirnya sebagian besar tuh yang juara dari regionnya masing-masing itu akan tampil kuat kan daripada yang runner up-nya. Tapi kali ini berbeda gitu.
Alter Ego taking their revenge against the Indonesian champion. They sent TL down to the lower brackets.
I think a little bit unexpected because we really thought that Liquids gonna give us a hard time in this match. Nggak expect lawan Aurora sih, soalnya dari scrim itu kita lawan TLPH tuh lebih susah dari kita lawan Aurora.
Yung meaning sa akin ng pagkapanalo namin sa Liquid, napakalaking bagay kasi doon kami kukuha ng momentum for mga next series.
Nagsisik din talaga kami ng revenge sa kanila kasi tagal na namin walang bawi sa kanila. Nakakagulat din na tinalo ng Alter Ego yung Onyx.
Mungkin sama tim ya, mungkin sebenarnya kita ada beberapa kartu yang belum kita buka. Mungkin nanti kita pakai di draft gitu.
Momentum is really something because of what's happening in M7. I think Alter Ego is doing good right now.
Yung malawak yung hero pool nila, tsaka pagdating sa pindutan, magaling sila. Tsaka hindi sila yung nag-back down sa mga team fight. Kung ma-execute namin yung mga plano or game things nagawa sa scrim, sa tournament, may chance, pakiramdam ko may chance kami na mapanalo mismo yung series.
Alter Ego! Go, go, go!
I think this is going to be an important win for them if they do get this against Aurora, because this is going to, funnily enough, shut down the idea of it being luck.
Alter Ego have done it! Alter Ego Esports take the win! First team to make it to the knockout!
I don't think they're just lucky, I think they're really good.
Sama muka baru kan Alter Ego. Jadi yang didukung itu bukan cuma Onyx doang kan. Jadi Alter Ego jadi salah satu kandidat harapan Indonesia yang bisa membawa pulang Piala Series itu.
Alter Ego! Go, go, go!
Kalau AE benar-benar bisa menang dan bisa top 4, aku rasa aku seneng sih. Soalnya kan kita Indonesia selalu dianggap kayak kita di bawah Filipina kan. Jadi kayak kalau bisa menang ya mungkin kita akan mengubah statement itu sih. Yung meaning sa akin ng M7 parang malaking bagay siya sa akin. Kami magdo-double effort kami and gagawin namin best namin para mag-champ.
Good luck to Yasuke. Hopefully you bring your A game in our match because I'm gonna destroy you.
Hey Nino, you think you're good, but I think I can beat you.
Ya, coba aja, nanti kita lihat hasil akhirnya aja.
A lot of respect between these two, but of course, when you respect someone so much, sometimes you gotta talk a little bit of smack just to show it to them. We have to first talk about and acknowledge Alter Ego. With the Indonesian champions, Onyx Indonesia in the lower bracket, they have become a new people's champion here in Indonesia, and they have yet to drop a single game in M7 so far. 100% match and game win rate.
I'm telling you, there's a lot of parallels that can be taken with them and previous Malaysian representatives before. It's such a good time, and they've convinced me for certain.
Hey, you know what? Hard times breed better men, and Aurora have faced all of the hardships, not just here in Indonesia, but even on the trip out. It's no secret that online, everybody's saying they can't do it. Everybody's saying they're the C word, but I'll be honest with you. When you look at the stats, it's clear that Aurora are packing heat. It's not just all lights and sounds and smoke and mirrors. Aurora are good, and they've done it in the Swiss already. They've proven that they deserve to be here. They've proven it in the knockouts. They beat Liquid.
Yeah, the only team they've lost to so far in M7 is Team Liquid Philippines. CFU, Team Zone, Team Spirit, and in the knockouts, Team Liquid Philippines felt the pain of loss against Aurora. As we look at these two, we talked about the lineup of Aurora having a lot of experience. There's one player I want to look at Alter Ego, that I want to see have a star-making performance for him to remind him that he is, in his own right, a world champion through IESF 2022. Hijime was in that roster, and he is going to be a big factor against Aurora.
I totally agree, and I think that Hijime is one of those players, when you look at, he is international ready. You see it, you know it, you feel it, and that's what AE is bringing out here today. They have 3 faces on their logos for a reason, and they want to be able to kind of to keep Aurora Gaming quickly on their toes as much as they can. If Aurora PH can play with their plans, of course it's going to be good, but that's the beauty of AE. They know how to make the gears stop turning.
Are you talking about champions without belts? How about Yue? How about the man who has been on so many multiple international stages and has yet to bag a trophy, a ring, or a medal of his own? Yeah, we still give those out, right?
Yeah, we do.
How does Yue not have any of these things? He's top 5 worldwide.
Alter Ego are hungry to prove that despite their youth and relatively lack of experience compared to the roster of Aurora, that they deserve to be here. And they have proven that already and beyond, I feel like. For Aurora, they are also hungry to finally get those championships that have been escaping them since their inception of around MPL Philippines Season 14. It's been a long time coming for these two teams, and in just a bit, they're going to be making their entrance. You saw a little bit of our entrances from the first series, but I feel like this one's going to have a different vibe. For the first time, we're going to be seeing a hardcore home and away walkout.
Yeah, and that's going to be a fun time, especially considering how many Alter Champs and well as Aurora fans in the arena alone. So I'm expecting the entire indoor stadium to explode.
Again, to remind everyone, Alter Champs outnumber Auroras in the stadium. I'd say what, 20-1?
Yeah. It's a huge understatement to say that the Auroras and the Filipinos in the crowd are outnumbered, because we know about Indonesian fans. They show up with pride and they show up with love for their representatives. But in these hallowed halls of Tennis Indoor Stadium have also delivered some of the most heartbreaking moments for Indonesian fans. So what are we going to get today? A win for Alter Ego or a win for Aurora? Heartbreak for Alter Ego or heartbreak for Aurora? All I know is we are going to get a beautiful match of MLBB. Let's welcome our teams.
Edward! Demon Kite! Domain Kite! UA! Lights Within sees the win. Aurora Gaming Philippines!
Alter Champs, manos walanya!
Ijume! Nino! Alter Ego! Yasuke! Alex! Still invulnerable. Indonesia, let me hear you say, go, go, go for Alter Ego!
It felt like an anime entrance for these two. Different vibes, but the same story. Redemption, hunger, Alter Ego and Aurora Gaming Philippines have a lot to prove, and they are ready to do that.
To put it into context, it's not just 10 seasons Alter Ego waited to step forth. It's been 6 years. Let's welcome their coaches on stage, Aurora and Alter Ego.
An exciting time to be alive, to witness this battle happen once again. The classic between two major regions. What to be expected here will only stay here in GKT.
An interesting difference between these two is for Aurora Gaming PH, it's expect the expected. Because they deliver the cleanest, fundamental, solid MLBP. The understanding of the playbook of this team is bar none. Alter Ego throws that playbook out, writes their own book, and expect the unexpected from them.
It's a clash of styles. The real test is whether or not Alter Ego has mastered every face of the game, because with Master of the Basics just behind Aurora, I'm pretty sure small mistakes can be recovered. Big mistakes is a detriment.
Let's run through these lineups. Reintroducing Alter Ego Esports for you guys watching at home. Yes, some of them did shave their heads in an effort to prove their commitment to running straight for that World Championship title. Nino, Yasuke, Hijume, Alec, and Arfi.
Nino is number 1 in KDA, GPM, turret damage per minute amongst EXP laners. Yasuke number 1 in KDA, kills per game among junglers. Also the fewest deaths with 6 among all players in M7. This guy was a rookie last season, and he's doing this on the world stage.
And this is why they're so hungry. The first to actually qualify here to the playoffs, but their opponents are no pushovers. When it came down to the best of ones, maybe they struggle, but as soon as we see best of threes, this team comes alive. Aurora Gaming PH with Edward, Demon Kai, Yue, Light, and Domain Kai. Edward, Mr. MVP himself, just keeps on getting it right next to Nino.
One of the three, known as MV3 when they ran with Blacklist International. He's also got Demon Kite, number 3 in the damage taken per minute next to Detective and Boyet. You can tell it to his Fredrin to stop taking so much damage and dishing it out in return.
I was thinking about Edward and the leadership he can bring here for Aurora. Playing on the world stage in Indonesia is not new for him. I forget, there's one more player for Aurora that can add to that. It's Light. He's experienced playing with a fervent crowd of Indonesia when he was in MPL ID Season 15 with Bigatron 5 Vitality. So, with that in mind, I feel like when it comes to two teams with very clashing styles, is mental gonna play a factor? For me, definitely.
100%. And I think, when we're talking about mental resilience, it goes both ways. As much as this crowd is going to be supporting AE and putting pressure onto Aurora PH, if a single play goes wrong, that could hurt AE's odds.
Don't show AE this chat because they already know, all right? It's Aurora who needs a little bit of online presence because in Tennis in Dortinayan, it's all Alto champs. Where are the Auroras? They're still outnumbered 2-1.
Of course, we all know how passionate the Indonesian fan base is, but I'm pretty sure the Filipinos are going to start racking in some votes in the fandom war for Aurora in the chat. But as you see, this is a hostile and passionate crowd in Jakarta as the Alter champs continue to go wild as we head into the draft. Speaking of draft, let's talk about it. Alter Ego. Question is, I feel like a good beginner is, what the heck is Arfi going to play? Are you going to see him in a marksman? Or are we going to see him on a fighter? It feels like so far in M7, whatever you give him, it goes well.
Okay, that's a valid question to ask. Given their spotless record, they played the least amount of games possible for a single team in M7. Arfi's only played Claude, Freya, and CC. Has never touched Ruby, has never touched Carrie, has never touched the breakout hero of the later half of M7 so far, Sora.
But we don't know that for sure, right? We don't know if he's going to whip out that Sora in that gold lane. We know that AE seemed to be ahead of the metagame when it came down to the gold lane specific picks, but at the same time, Aurora on the opposite side with their linear style of play, very fluid motions across the map, really need to find that starting ground, right? That first kickoff to make sure that they can start the snowball crashing down against AE, because that's the only time we see AE actually back away from fights when they're at a deficit.
Yeah, Aurora Gaming Creation has shown that it's weird to say, slightly older version of MLBB with having a marksman carry in the gold lane still definitely works. They're one of the few teams that after seeing the effect of Claude in the metagame suddenly said, hey, let's just pick up Claude in the first pick right away. And they would consistently do that. Freya, Granger, Harith, and Carrie are the other heroes that Domigite has played. Not as many fighters, but maybe that will change. That has to change against a team like Alter Ego. As we count down to the draft, sound off in the comments wherever you're watching. What do you think will come up? Because in my head right now, the permutations continue to go. From the gold lane, let's look at the opposite end in the EXP lane. Edward and Nino, to be fair, I feel like they have a similar playstyle.
They actually have a pretty similar playstyle. However, with Edward, there is a certain level of expectation. I need you to do X. Nino, on the other hand, kind of probes that question a little bit more. He starts asking the rest of the teams, hey, what are some of the cooldowns I can take advantage of? What kind of openings can I create for somebody on the team? Both are looking to dominate their lane. Both looking to find impact in those team fights. But based on what I'm seeing in the bans, it looks like AE targeting on the Baxia, the Yeet, alongside with the Valentina opens up options.
I'm smelling a Sora early on.
Oh yeah.
That's what that Valentina is telegraphing, as well as a Farsa. Sometimes you just want to put it out there.
Well, Aurora are willing to give the Sora as they take out the Juicin, available here for Alter Ego, flexible. And of course, they will go for it.
Okay, so they've already got the Sora in hand. No counter Valentina to get ahead in this game. Aurora have a number of options to play here. One of them happened, well, I don't know whether the family is going to come out within the first phase or towards the second phase. It's one of the few picks that we don't usually let through as often, but knowing Demon Kite, and also on the opposite side, Yasuke, both are more than happy to get access to it.
I feel like between these two teams, this Aurora who definitely has to think about the Fanny more. Yasuke has had an MVP performance with that hero earlier. This M7, definitely have to watch out for it. Now, it's the Cho and the YSS. Still very basic standard Aurora. Expecting the Fanny to come through, they already pick up the Cho.
The Fanny doesn't even have to come in now. I think it would be a mistake for AE to pull out the Fanny this early. Sure, Fanny's good, but Aurora's ready for it. I think AE would be best and wise to not jump the gun. And nope, they're going the opposite direction. They're going for a fighter in the jungle. Leomord, they showed this early in the Swiss. And now, after that series between SRG and Aurora Turquie, we know that it stonks.
Yeah, and it looks like they want to play for the earlier stages of the game based on what we're seeing here, right? On the opposite side, Aurora, I want to see how they want to actually maintain control over that mid lane. They've got the Cho, so technically with Concussive Blast, you will be able to get through it without much of a problem. I think the real question is whether or not they're going to target specifically against Light instead of pushing the waves, and then looking to invade after. Look to punish, right? Hurt the 2v2.
Exactly. For Aurora, seeing the lineup of Alter Ego, that is ruthless aggression. Aurora can't go PG here. They have to go Attitude era style if they want to. And Cho and Farsa are a simple way to do that through the center of the map. But then you're going to have a power pick for Edward that will have so much impact that the aggression of Alter Ego can be stopped. If not stopped, at least just tempered a bit.
Is Uranus open?
Uranus is still open. It could get banned out in the second phase.
There you go.
Like a lot of the sandbags might be targeted. But
if AE don't ban it, Aurora got away with it. They should get the Uranus.
All right, so the Kalia gets banned though. The follow-up from the side, from AE. Yeah, no, it looks like AE looks to be the one to say, you know what, we don't want a sandbag for the Sora.
Yeah. So I like that for Alter Ego. They've really done their homework against Aurora here. Again, we got to go back to the first phase of the bans. Taking away the Baksha, that's an old Aurora favorite that became one of their main pieces through their MPLPH Season 16 dominance. The Valentina and the Eve respecting you. And now we were just talking about the Edward pick, taking away the Alice. If you're going to be looking for something that could disrupt team fights, if it's available for them, though it is slower, if Aurora want to go front to back, the Clue is still going to be an option.
See the Esme going to be banned out from the side of Aurora, and I think at this point, AE just need to get rid... Oh, wait, no. Oh, do they hold up the Uranus or do they... both don't feel very good here. No matter what, I think that Sora's going to get sandbagged, and they might have to open up a couple of other options, thinking towards maybe towards the Rome section. But there it is, the Uranus already gone.
So what does that leave our boy Edward? Mr. Consistent still has in the pocket Lapu Lapu.
Yeah.
Yu Zhong, one good target so far, and we saw that Yu Zhong is very, very vulnerable in the early game. He can play Arlo. He's 100% with it. I mean, played once.
Final Slash would be good. Aurora does need a sandbag, I feel like. Arlott isn't really a traditional sandbag. He's the guy that comes out of nowhere, Final Slash, and he'll buy time through aggression and vengeance kicks. So now they're going to be going for a Demon Knight-centered lineup with YSS being supported by 4 pieces on the side of Aurora. They pick up a Freya for Dominkite. Did it go well for him the first time we saw it, but now in the second game after that, it went really well.
I think it'll be good here. I mean, no matter what, it's going to be tough, right? If you forget about Dominkite on this Freya for too long, your entire backline, and especially if you get stuck in the middle of the fight, like walking through mud, he's just going to start shredding through you, even if you are pumping out like 10x the damage, just because of how her ult works. But
Gwen, I like the Gwen. AE of Hanson to the front line of Aurora, and here's a online favorite. A lot of folks online, like these armchair analysts, saying, why don't they just pick Mincetar? It stops a lot of the big meta heroes in the current roster of M7 top picks. And here it is.
So many dashes instantly negated by King's Calling. Alter Ego's lineup needed more crowd control, and they got a hell of a lot of crowd control. Guinevere and Mincetar, as unique as it is, I like how Alter Ego closed it out.
Hold up. This also shuts down Vengeance.
Yes.
I see a Freya and I want an Arlo. That's how earlier teams in the Swiss figured out how to make this work. But now you are kind of slowed down. They instead go for the Lapu Lapu, the safer pick.
yeah, no choice here for the side of Aurora. They've got a decent amount of damage on their side, a lot of bursts, a lot of key components that they can mix and match according to the scenario. I think that AE need to take the more linear approach. Keep it simple.
That Mincetar looks poisonous to me.
The Mincetar did not keep it simple.
Yeah, it's not simple, but oh my god, all those dash blocks. As a Filipino, I gotta say, this pains me to say, I'm leaning towards Alter Ego for the draft.
I'm saying AE for sure.
I'll keep it close to the chest. Until the Mincetar proves it's worth its pick, I'm saying Aurora.
Well, let's see how it's gonna work as we enter Flying Clouds and what is sure to be an electric 5-game series. Best of 5, Alter Ego, Aurora, Indonesia, and the Philippines. Welcome to another chapter to this long story. Mirko and Trex, let's go!
Thank you, Renmar, Gideon, and Leo. It's Trex here with Mirko once again. It's day 2, series 2. Alter Ego facing up against Aurora Gaming. Now, Mirko, they gave their predictions on the draft. How are you feeling about it yourself?
Hey, Alter Ego are very, very lucky, so I think Aurora got this.
I gotcha. The Aurora got this. Just that simple, that easy. No questions asked, no hold bars. Now, when I take a look at the mid lane, I do think one thing. We saw something similar in the last series, a similar lineup in the mid, and the Pharsa and the Cho seem to do well. You get the rotations, you get the aggression, but we are seeing Alter Ego already try to push in.
Yeah, this is what they like to do, man. With the composition that's so aggressive, they just want to push the tempo. And honestly, we got to see this already. Aurora Gaming did the same thing to SRG early on. In game number 1, all the way to game number 3, but then it was the SRG adaptation constantly coming in. Yazuke, though, a bit late to go with the orange buff, not going to be caught still. It's first blood for Light.
First blood for Aurora Gaming, very well done. So at this point, Aurora Gaming already capitalizing on the aggression that Alter Ego wants to bring in. Already showing that, listen, we're ready for that. We don't have a problem with that at all. Taking a look at some of the emblems, Warcry onto the Freya, trying to be aggressive. On top of that, extra damage for the items. And a whole lot of movement speed on the side of Aurora Gaming with the Wilderness Blessings. They want to move. They want to be able to respond quickly.
Whoa.
Alter Ego brings.
RP in the bottom lane, almost getting caught. Light again. Ji Kundo and the Shunpu, but it's just to threaten RP, just to possibly bait out the flicker from him.
So Aurora Gaming still playing it safe. They don't want to force it. They don't want to force their hands. This is your typical Aurora Gaming. Not pushing anything too far. We're going to get a slow chokehold on you and just keep letting the gold bleed out.
Turtle number 1 already started up by Aurora Gaming Philippines. Demon Kite free there. Yuzuki pops in Phantom Steed. That's a purify up by Yue. As Nino walks up and gives the red tree from Demon Kite to pick it up. Demon Kite very, very low. Nino able to flicker in, getting the kill down.
Yue able to find the response though. Nino goes down, but it's a kill for a kill.
And now it's Alec and Hijime cutting them down. Edward falling light. Wait, the Dragon to Kudo brings the kill over to Yue, but Hijime gets a double.
That's a huge win for Alter Ego. They're able to turn things around a little bit, but Demon Kite looking for the possible response.
Demon Kite has him on the shotgun. This will be the double stun coming in as Dolmen rotates from gold lane, and it is given to Demon Kite.
If you want to go blow for blow, Aurora Gaming is ready. They hold about a 800 gold lead, but this is just the start.
Just the systematic style, but clearly something changed. They're now much more willing to take those risks. It was already seen in the match against TLPH. There's only one way you can beat TLPH, and it's not just to play that systematic game. It's not to play that safe game. You need to take those gambles, and with the players they have in the lineup now, you can't doubt that they can. You can't doubt that they can execute all of those crazy gambles.
They finally hit their second form, you know? They finally moved forward. They've come out of the cocoon. Aurora Gaming
took a while.
Is ready to flap their wings. It took a while, for sure. But this is a very different team than what we've seen in previous internationals.
Absolutely.
And if they keep this pace, it looks good.
Alec
play.
He's up purified. Nino going to be walking up as well. Now bringing light over. That's it.
Nothing happens. That's it. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. No major problems. And again, this is what Aurora Gaming want. What I'm really excited for is Edward on this Lapu Lapu. When are we going to see that really come into play in these fights? We didn't get to see a lot of those big backlane divers in the last set of matches. But now we see Edward on a proactive EXP laner, and you know how much he loves it. I mean, listen, he's whoa.
Murphy, he tried to go for the hook before. He pops into King's Calling just to dash out. Light goes over the way of the Dragon, but it's actually kind of off, and now it's Nino in the back line.
Up the top side, Nino able to push him away, and now they're going to move on to the Turtle.
Yuzuki holding onto it. The Phantom Steed already used up now. Alec going to the back line. That's Edward with a jump in. Live with the Kuno as well. Yuzuki's down.
Demon Kite able to take one down. Turtle still up.
Demon Kite picking it up. Now it's going to all in now with the Violet Requiem, but Demon Kite takes him out, and it's Dolmeng who slices Nino to bits to get a double. Now a feathered airstrike just pounding Arfi down.
That's going to help secure this tier 3 on the bottom side. Like, just to mess with your head a little bit, man. Just to get in your mental.
Thanks BTR, by the way. My goat! Anyways, yeah, no, Light is just so annoying. Every single time he's on the Cho, Trex, he wants you to make that extra move. He wants to cancel out your recalls. He wants to cancel out your skills. And even if the way the Dragon is off, a lot of times that's a feint. That's a setup for something else. And in that case, it was Edward with the follow-up.
All right, in the mid side, Yue and Light continue to control. Alter Ego now, they're at a point, is it time to kind of hit the brakes a little bit? Maybe we can't take them on with a super aggressive play style. Yasuke is 0-3-2. It's not where you want to be on a Leomord. We've seen Leomords do great when they can get that early aggression, but they haven't been able to do that. So now we have to completely rethink our strategy if we're Alter Ego.
Yeah, what's that going to be? Right now, I guess it's minimize losses. 2,000 gold lead for Aurora Gaming Philippines. It's trying to look for those mid-game power spikes. But at the end of the day, this Alter Ego esports lineup is very reliant on a cycle of skills. They need to go in, and that's it, right? With the instant or with the straight-up initiation, you need to get a win. Aurora Gaming Philippines, they have a Freya that can play it long. They have, I would say, actually, they're the Yisun Shin as well. They can constantly just go for continuous damage on top of the fact that he can go for burst too.
Alter Ego very reliant as well on all 5 members kind of being together in these fights. They don't have much of a split pushing composition. And when you are in the behind place that they're in right now, that's what you're looking for. Small plays on the map. Maybe you get a tier 3 on the bot side. Maybe you get one on the top side. Something that you can take. But the problem is, if they send someone down, it's going to be a long time until they can get back to the turtle pit. Or the rest of your members are going to all get cut off, and all of these skills, like you said, need to be used in a cycle. Warax does finally get locked in for Yasuke.
Wow.
That's a late first item.
Especially for Yasuke, dude. This guy has always just been ahead of the enemy junglers when we saw him in the Swiss stage. Dolmeng forcing it out. Now, good dodge away from the hook. RP goes over to King's Calling. Traction pulse coming down, but Domain gets out and has that flare as well with a recall spam. Now it's away the Dragon lock-in. Is that Nino down? Spatial migration with Valorant from the back. Nino going to be taken out. Now it's Domain and Demon Kite helping each other out as Yuzuke walks away. But Edward pops in the stun, doesn't go for it. Aurora should be able to get this for free.
Aurora treated that turtle like it was a lord, systematically getting the kick, bringing the rest of the team down. At least Yazuke gets a purple here. It's the first time we've seen them able to trade something in a loss, but it's still not a great trade.
Perfect turtle for Aurora Gaming Philippines, and they're just going to have this steady build. If Alter Ego Esports aren't going to bring the chaos to them, this is Aurora Gaming Philippines' comfort zone. Ali with a spatial migration again on Yue, but he knows there's a Purify on his hands, so he can't just go all in, and they have to deal with Domain Kite somehow. Traction pulse there, Yuzuke! Try to go for the chase, but Yue, it's flying, yo.
That's what happens when you're at a 3.5k gold deficit. Even when you get the big plays, you don't always get the kills. And this is what Alter Ego Esports is going to be looking at for a bit now. Taking a look at the items. Minsathar takes up the Scythe. Going to work into DHS next. Is that a DHS coming up?
I believe so. I think he
DHS
is going to
on the-
be
on the
going for
mids?
the attack speed build here.
Is it going to be a fast boy?
I don't.
But I don't know if it's going to help. You know, Leo said until we see the Minsathar work, you still got to doubt it. And right now, I'm definitely doubting it.
Yeah.
We haven't seen
Oh.
anything from it.
An all in onto Ollie with the way of Dragon as well. They just go all in for him, and it works. Alter Ego were in no position to help the roamer. 0-3 and 2. The gold lead now getting out of control.
I would honestly say that Aurora Gaming is the one that's bringing the chaos. Yes, it's organized chaos, but they are the ones that are being hyper-aggressive here. Alter Ego had about 30 seconds of hyper-aggression in the very beginning. They paid the price for it. And Aurora Gaming, once they smelled the blood, they came for it. It's like, fine, we can do this. We can play this. They have the Lapu, they have the Farza, they have the damage, and to top it off, they have this Freya who can also just bully the front line.
So again, for Alter Ego, it's all about the backup plan, which is farm it up. He should be going the way to Dragon now as Tailman continues the chase in the back, and that's going to be the fatal final Requiem. Use Edward, go through him.
Dazuke tries to do something, but it's just not enough.
The Mountain Shotgun catches Nino, keeps falling. They all fall under it, but there's not enough damage to take him down. RP with a 3-man hook, but it's Edward who goes through them all.
They tried valiantly, but it just wasn't enough. Aurora Gaming with the full team white.
Agent Zero, Mr. Consistent, just swinging that sword on Alter Ego, picking up a triple, and now a free Lord.
You know, for a second, it looked good. It looked possible for Alter Ego, but the dreams were crushed in the hands of Edward there. And now, oh Lord, into the hands of Aurora Gaming PH. I'm thinking some towers are going down here.
I think so too. Alter Ego don't have the best clear with this composition. It's a team fighting comp, a composition built to have a lead by this point of the game, to be able to actually dictate the fights. But now it's Aurora Gaming dictating everything. What a read by Domain down below. Knows Alec was there. Alter Ego are getting read out as RP goes for the King's Calling again. Now they'll be able to actually get a kill. But now they're caught on the bad spot as Edward goes in for Brave Spider. That's a conceal use. Traction pulse, dodge away from by the CC immunity as he goes back in.
Nice Mountain Shocker does land down onto Alec. They're forced to back off.
Lord up top. Alter Ego want to play it slow. They already got one member. Now they can try to distract Aurora Gaming Philippines as they clear up these minion waves that are coming at them. And obviously the Lord up top. They are trying their best not to let it charge through. And yeah, they will be able to do it.
Yeah, honestly, Aurora Gaming PH takes this push slow. No major towers lost. They only lose one tier 2 on the top side. And this is going to be able to bide a little bit of time for Alter Ego Esports. And from what we saw last time, they do have some pick potential. So maybe that is the strategy. Look for one member at a time. Keep yourself in the game until everyone can fight together.
And that's the thing about the Minsathar right now, right? You can't purify out of the King's Calling. When you're in there, you're stuck. You got to deal more damage than your opponents. You have to just go in. And for Domain Kite, the fact that he was picked off meant that Aurora Gaming Philippines had to take it slow. There was no other way they would be able to siege with just 4 members with a double fighter composition.
You know, there is also one wild card on the side of Alter Ego here.
What's that?
That is the Sora. We've seen teams from we saw SRG do it, we saw Innocent do it. Get Savages, even from behind. One big power play, once the gold gets to that point, once the items locked in, then the possibilities are there. Can Alter Ego pull it off, though?
Here's the catch, though.
Going tank.
He's going tank. Nino is an XP laner, and we've seen from the Sora as an XP, it's mainly just, well, Nino actually just walks over Light. Yasuke actually spots Light. He buys the immortality in time as Nino goes in. They know everybody's in the bottom lane now. To the all-in over on Light as Alec rotates his ball. Spatial migration goes away from, and there you go. Light just styling on him up top. They tried.
They tried.
They couldn't land the skill on him. Light's too good at video games.
That's Sora for you, baby.
That's what?
That's Tank Sora.
That's Tank Sora. Honestly, even if it's damage Sora, I really don't think he would be able to shred Light. But yes, that is Tank Sora just tickling the choke.
Tickling the choke.
That's Pauldron at least though. But the back lane on the other side too. So they have a way to deal with Yi Sun-shin. But who gonna deal with Yue?
Who gonna deal with Yue? You gonna deal with Yue.
What, physically?
Mentally?
Mentally? I don't think I can. Oh, maybe if I complimented him enough, then we can actually do that.
Like catch him off guard. You'd be like, hey, you look great right now. And then bang. You know?
Could be. You know, send those curveballs. Hijime actually picks up the Wind of Nature. And it's an endless battle for Yasuke, who is 0-4, by the way. Again, the stats earlier, Red Marcetta, he's #1 in KDA and kills per game. But this game, he's gotten 0 kills. And it's looking like a free lord as Nino tries to look for an opening. Tomenkai goes for the poke. RP gonna look for the hook. Won't be able to find it now. Yasuke as well pops in a Phantom Steed, but Yue gets away with the Purify.
And the Lord resets at that. Aurora Gaming gonna move back. He's calling. What's going on with RP right now?
Tried to read Light's movement. He tried to go for the King's Calling as Light goes in for the G Kundo. He thought he had Flicker, but it's a miscalculation. And now with no big ultimate, they have to give it away. Oliver for spatial migration, able to find Yue in the backline. As Nino walks it forward and actually gets Demon Kite down.
Kazuke steals the Lord!
And now it's an all-out fight as Yasuke still on the horse going in. Hijime! Go over the damage now. It's a pumping forward. Light loses the mortality. Hijime in the back line over on Yue, cutting him down!
The bait was in. Hijime with a double kill, making a triple.
And now it's just Agent Zero. Hijime goes in again as the Famous Fighter coming in against 4 members. What can he do? Edward with the jump. Hijime with the nature. And now it's the sun coming in as Edward tries his best to stay alive. But Hijime gets the shutdown and an unofficial maniac.
It's a maniac in my book, whether you like it or not. The stat might not be there, but Hijime picks up the pieces. Alter Ego Esports just turned the tables. They were behind about 2,000 gold. Now they've got a lead, plus a Lord, marching down.
There's something about them that keeps them going. It's the hunger of always falling short. Aurora Gaming Philippines, on the other hand, though, took that fight despite knowing the Phantom Steed was used. There were so many windows that were closing for Alter Ego, but Aurora Gaming Philippines never let it fully close. They fought while there was a little bit of a gap between.
I mean, it all started with that Violent Requiem, right? It all started with that Nino jumps in.
And now, Valkyrie Descent getting into safety. Tomenkai, no Purify. It's Demon Kite up top and Light. Take a look at Light.
Hiding in the bush, ready to pull up. Jump about the cut.
Can he do it?
I don't know. It looks like he's going to be going back to base possibly. Lord crashing in.
Hijime buys the immortality as well. He has 7 kills now.
The wait and bait, the shake and bake, the Ricky Bobby.
Light gets out. Alter Ego have swapped the game around. Now it's them who have the advantage in the structures, in the goal department. We're getting to a point where the goal won't really matter too much. But trust me, those structures will, going in all alone. That's 1v3. Now Edward walking in, Wade the Dragon again, locking RP down with Mountain Shocker as well. Edward picking up the kill, now he goes through them with Tomenkai. Like on the back foot, Edward!
Hijime continues to get free shots though. Edward slicing through them.
Can they get to Hijime? No, they cannot. 30 seconds on the Lord. Alter Ego can still breathe, but they have lost their gold lead. Now it's Light looking for the angle again for the G Kundo. They have to give the orange buff away, so Tomenkai walks up and Hijime is able to get that jet back over the wall.
The airstrike does come down. The Steed comes out. And Aurora Gaming are looking for a tower.
There's a minion. and a cannon together. Valkyrie descends to the backline. Hijime no flicker earlier, baited out by the feathered airstrike. Mid lane baser now taken down, and Aurora Gaming Philippines set their sights on the neutral objective.
Here's the kicker, right? Alter Ego, they flip the table, they get a gold lead, they get a Lord, they get so much presence on the map. But I was worried what was going to happen is they were going to push too far. They should have taken that, calm down, plain ground, wait for Lord, and keep position. Aurora Gaming, on the other hand, they do the opposite. They take a quick tower and they leave. Fine, we got what we wanted.
It's a classic Nino moment, but not the Nino of now, the Nino of old. Look at the back though. This is a flanking Freya. Looking to get Yazuki, looking to get Hijime, who doesn't have flicker. Valkyrie the catching Hijime there. He pops in with nature, buys a little bit more time. The rest of the team go into the back line as Hijime loses immortality. And now it's Yazuki trying to peel him off. Rose gold immediate from Hijime, but he gets shut down.
Arfi can do nothing to save his team right now. He's shredded away.
Now it's Demon Kai looking to chase on Alec. Goes through him like he's just, oh my goodness. Immortality down is in the mid lane. It's a big fight going on now. Who's going to win that one? As Demon Kai gets a double kill, and in the mid lane, it is Nino taken down. And Aurora wipe Alter Ego out.
There is nothing they can do at this point, Aurora Gaming.
It is all over for game number 1. It's the start to the best of 5 that the Filipinos would definitely be happy with.
We saw some push and pull, but in the end, Aurora Gaming met chaos with determination in game number 1 and kept it clean.
We thought it was going to be fight fire with water. They said fight fire with fire, but even hotter fire.
And a little bit of water.
A little bit
of ice. Aurora Gaming brought the full package.
A little bit of dirt as well.
Full dirt in their eyes.
Oh,
Sand in their eyes. Grandma, how you feeling about it?
Guys, we're well past September. Why bring in Earth, Wind, and Fire? What's with all the element talk here? But my, oh my, Aurora Gaming PH. I have a question for the panel. Is Edward still even human at this point?
Oh.
What the heck was that, Edward? That was one of the craziest individual performances I've seen on the Lapu Lapu.
There's a reason why even the coach of Team Liquid, Coach Tic Tac, when saying, who do you think of when I say Lapu Lapu? He says Edward.
For understandable reasons, man. Like, can you imagine being in Hijime's position, understanding that he must not lose his stacks on the Sky Piercer, forced to early swap out his items in Winds of Nature just to survive in a 1v3 scenario against a full HP Edward? How crazy is that?
That is economic suicide. Legit, he lost so much gold just to be able to make up for it and to survive the force of nature that is Abunjingjing. That's the one nickname that they missed out on.
Yeah, practice beats theory. A game theory about this Mizratar. Again, it was high concept. You saw the vision. We were scared of the vision. But when it came to the execution, I don't know how many reps Arfi has had on this Mizratar. But I'm sorry, it was glaring. It was there. We saw what happened.
This Mizratar is the room until today. Like, it's still not good, right? The movie's still not good. Oh, hi, John. You know what I mean?
Hi, Mark.
It's still not good. So until it is.
I mean, I bet for viewers out there, you're throwing spoons at your screen right now. I mean, it feels the exact same way when you miss out on really important mechanics that honestly could have changed the laning phase for him had he landed the spear into the King's Glory. And that could have changed a lot of things for the rest of his team members, because let me get this straight. Aurora Gaming, PH, their basics, their fundamentals is rock solid. They figured out extremely quickly, wait a minute, this aggression is coming without no information, so if we just put bombing in the right place at the right time, it's over.
One might say masterful. And here's the thing, it's not just Light who's now able to find those weird angles. Domenkai showed us a little bit of flanking as well, and that's lethal in the hands of a hero like Freya. Our MVP for this game is none other than Edward himself.
6, 2, and 10 on this Lapu Lapu. And in the few King's Callings that looked like it would be a massive threat to Aurora Gaming PH, it was Edward saying, hey, I'm free of it, and I still got my Landshaker ready to go. I'm saving my Flicker for the counter set, and I will get it. 6, 2, and 10. What he also did in the mid lane after what was the eventual wipeout of Aurora at the center, Edward buying time actually was great for Aurora. Instead of falling back, that meant that Alter Ego couldn't get as many turns as sooner as they could have.
I mean, honestly, what really stands out to me from Aurora, and yes, you did bring up some good points because it really does come down to the positioning of where these fights were going to occur. Because AE did not care about choke points; they were caring about how much impact they could get out of their plays, and that costed them so very much. And I'm gonna make an argument here. Again, so many good moments where you're catching multiple people, but it's not inside the King's Calling, and that's something that they need to be really hyper aware of.
And I think that's a major symptom of Alter Ego's draft. I'm not so sure if there was enough time or space for our casters to cover it, but now in hindsight, my diagnosis is this lineup requires way too much of a 1-2. It requires too much of a, as Trek said, the shake and bake. You can't have a Ricky Bobby without Kyle Naughton Jr. So how do you find the combo when Aurora is so busy being in your face, dealing this kind of damage, setting up these flanks? And I'll tell you now, AE had their moment. But if it wasn't for Nino jumping up and, scooping himself up on a silver platter up there, it would be a different story.
Yeah, the jump by Nino was questionable at best. Here, you can't fault for Alter Ego because this was just really great positioning by Dom and Guide. You know what this performance of Aurora reminds me of? Not the Death Ball RSG Philippines, but the RSG Philippines that love to flank. If it's not Light, it's Eman back in the day. And now it was Light and Dominic, but this time on the fighter as well. So it's good to see Aurora channel back to some of the roots of where these players came from, those playstyles. And that was, again, to call back to the history of MLBB Esports, one of the beautiful things about the old RSG Philippines was that, yes, they have this structure, but sometimes when they get out of that structure, it's actually so annoying to deal with because you have no idea where the biggest threats are coming from.
Exactly, and that's why AE needed to get an early lead in the laning phase personally. Like level 5, level 6, they should have already been able to consecutively win multiple fights, but I think that what Aurora had ahead of them was the fact that they had future sight, right? They understood, we're playing Flying Clouds. If you want to capitalize on our jungle, well, good luck. We're going to make you pay the brass tacks, and we saw that happen on multiple different occasions. Now, when AE loses that tempo and loses the ability to say, hey, we fight here, right now, that's when you see Aurora play push and pull with the Lord, because that's the only place that they could fall into the King's Calling and die.
And I think this is what started in the early game. Alter Ego wanted to take resources away from Demon Tide and Aurora. They had Aether Eyes. Aurora had the counter spell. They answered the aggression of Alter Ego early on and stopped them from taking resources.
Thinking about how this could have been different, if there is something I might say about Alter Ego, I like Nino's XP Sora. This is a tanky Sora. Say what you will about it not dealing enough damage to take down even possibly the easiest, well, I don't want to say easiest target, but an important target, a premier target in Aurora's Cho, the hero that Light was using to really annoy and check range for AE. I think there's a place and a time for a tank Sora. I can appreciate it. It's just not this lineup, not wherein you need to perfectly get that Torrent Thunder kind of juggle where all the heroes are also kind of thinking the same thing, like, where do I find the perfect King's Calling? Do I call Barbiel now? Do I jump in with the ult? Should I traction pulse here? Should I jetpack away? It's just a little too much mental load.
Yeah, it was too complex, I guess, for Alter Ego. With the draft, they decided to show up. Again, if you look at it in the sense of if everything falls in line, Aurora Gaming Philippines is not going to have a good time.
I don't know about whether or not this is what you guys are mentioning as it's too complicated. It's not that complicated. You just have to press a bunch of ults on one guy, right? It doesn't even have to be 5 people. If you do it just to one person in the earlier stages and play towards the gold lane rather than fighting for these neutral objectives when you clearly can't have control over it, I think that's when you put Aurora in a hostage situation and then you have to negotiate.
It's the equivalent of watching Interstellar when you're EP. Like, I just want a movie to fall asleep to, and you decide to watch Christopher Nolan's Interstellar. And
at that point, Alter Ego just needs to bring out Rush Hour, man. Something that is great, might keep you awake, but you can fall asleep to it because you've probably seen it like 100 times. And something we've done 100 times is thank our friends. And we're never going to get tired of thanking our friends. Of course, the real me. You guys keep taking it away from me. I can never get my hands on it.
It just appeared in my head. I don't know. It's pretty crazy because check it out. The AI insights from the Realme 15 Pro, it has a win rate prediction. It can analyze the gold, items, everything in real time. it's like having a strategic coach in your pocket. That's the AI gaming coach for you. But it doesn't stop there. When the fight breaks out, its consecutive skill features lets you unleash a perfect preset combo with just one tap. It guides your strategies and elevates your execution. That's a full AI-powered edge. From predictions to performance, it's the complete package. You play, we carry. Realme 15 Pro M7's official gaming phone.
Yeah, get your hands on that phone now if you want to excel in your games. If you want to play pro-level style MLBB, get that. But, maybe you're going to need to purchase it first. Why don't you get Visa with you? And, of course, we got our wonderful friend V back here on stage. I am not V. This is V.
Yeah, over here.
Okay, there you go. That's the mascot.
Right here. This one. Get a zoom on in this one, all right? Meet V, our cheerful little buddy. All right, there you go. Surprise! He's here at the M7 World Championship to cheer us all. Ain't he cute? Sometimes we call him V-chan because he's very kawaii. But when you know V is a fluffy, blue, heart-shaped entity, none of that matters. Sometimes he even gets mistaken for a cloud because he floats and he's everywhere. Bring V's vision of being everywhere you want to be with his playful energy. V is here at M7 to experience the world of gaming and esports alongside all the amazing MLBB fans. He's here to cheer on every team, whether they're winning or they're losing. And remember, with Visa, stay fast, stay secure, be the champion you want to be. No, wait, be the real MVP.
That's V for you. I want to hear a quick little thing from V. So V, what do you think about that first match?
Brother, that first match was something else. I can't wait to see what else these two show. Yeah.
Thanks, V.
I love how V sounds like that now.
Yeah, he sounds like the macho man himself, and he honestly has a lot more strong opinions than I thought he was. I thought he was supporting both teams, whether they're winning or losing. But if we're talking about winning and losing, you have to look at your friends deep in their eyes and say, hey, the MLBB Rising Open or the MRO Season 5 is coming back. It's still open for everyone and flexible to join. So now, with major upgrades, earn hero power from victories based on your weekly champion rank, and team up with friends to form a 5-player team to compete. Rewards are stacked. Win or lose, earn MRO coins to redeem permanent skins, exclusive avatar borders, and more. Climb the weekly championships to qualify for the championship. Win bigger prizes and keep the M7 passion alive.
All right, in and out of the game, we got the great events coming at you, of course. I mean, you also have the carnival here in M7. You have M7 itself, everything happening in the game. So a lot of excitement. And that was an exciting start to this series, dare I say. Even though it was a little bit more Aurora Gaming PH-sided, we did see some crowd hyped up moments for Alter Ego with that turnaround that they got. But again, a reminder for Alter Ego, when you're going up against a team like Aurora Gaming PH, you cannot get too overzealous thinking if you're going to get a great set. If you're that close to the base, with Aurora having the lead, you cannot take that jump.
I love how early on in this series, as we learned like 3 or 4 games into the first, a single mistake is punishable by a wipeout and game loss. That is the consequences of playing in the upper bracket and, playing at this level of MLBB esports. Like, again, 1 match away from locking in for the grand finals after you win this.
It's a higher standard that they're playing at, and that's something that all teams need to keep in mind. There's no underestimating your opponents anymore. You really have to take advantage of the small things that are happening in the game. But I feel like AE, they're hungry for it. That's why everything's so messy.
Yeah, that's the first game they dropped this M7 World Championship. Alter Ego, the second place team coming from Indonesia with the hopes of a country looking for glory on the world stage. I want to hear more about their story, so let's watch this together.
Hoki, ya hoki simpelnya beruntung kawan-kawan. Jawaban template dari para pro player, kebanyakan pro player di Indonesia ya. Jadi kalau ditanya kenapa tadi bisa menang, hoki.
Cuman kan namanya AE mode hoki ya, jadi ya kita lihat dulu sih hokinya gimana sih. Cuman kalau gue pribadi gue berharap banget soalnya Indonesia menang maupun AEK maupun Onyx sih.
Pertama kali harusnya pas di final sih, karena pas Alter Ego dapat tiket M Series, CEO-nya bilang itu hoki.
Kita tuh playernya gampang besar kepala, jadi kayak kita habis menang, kita egonya tinggi kan pasti. Nah jadi sebisa mungkin kita bilang itu hoki, bukan karena kita jago gitu.
I think my player is kinda unique. We can say like anomaly, a lot of anomaly in our team. Yeah, the personality, will do or anything. It's hard to explain. Yeah, so it's kind of tough.
Khusus alter ego, jangan dipuji. Pokoknya dia hoki. Alter ego masuk M Series, hoki. Di Swisted, hoki. Menang 3-0 dari tiap matchnya, hoki.
Hoki harus dibarengin sama skill dan pengetahuan tim alter ego juga.
Menurutku setelah mengalahkan Onyx, kita itu 50-50. 50 luck and 50 skill.
Yang gue lihat sih ya mereka lumayan beda lah sama yang kayak di Grand Final MPL kemarin lah. Mereka lebih disiplin, terus dari draftnya juga unpredictable. Di M7 ini kayak dikit lah mereka blundernya, terus kayak mereka tuh berani banget perang-perang gitu sih yang gue lihat. Kayak tanpa ragu, kayak pede banget gitu.
Mereka kayak berapi-api lah, pengen banget internasional juga. Apalagi mau juara, mau balas dendam juga ke Onyx, sama mau buktiin lah, pengen banget membuktikan diri mereka tuh jago.
Memang kompetisi tuh hoki, jadi kadang tuh ngumpul punya pemain terbaik atau tim terbaik belum tentu juara gitu. Jadi belum tentu juga bisa qualified ke M Series. Dibutuhkan hokinya. Cuman kalau AE ya hokinya ya tahu tinggi aja sih.
Semoga kita semua, apalagi terutama yang bermain di panggung M7 ini bisa memberikan performa yang terbaik, khususnya buat Nino. Jangan kecewain gua, No. Apalagi Kodel, Win. 2, 3. Semangat buat alter ego.
Buat tim AE, lu pada main sebisanya kayak biasa aja dengan lepas. Soalnya lu menang juga tergantung hoki. Betul ya. Siapa kita? Siapa kita? Alter ego.
Gotta appreciate Alter Ego and the Alter Champs embracing what could have been ammo towards them. They just said, yeah, hoki, man, we're lucky.
But you know what they say about luck? Luck is when skill and opportunity cross. And again, with a loyal and rabid fan base such as the Alter Champs behind them, again, we're throwing back to Singapore. Early 2021, again, 5-6 years ago, wherein Alter Ego came up to the world stage, and if I'm not mistaken, Alter Ego was then Brenny Sports, who would then become eventually the champions' biggest rival.
Yep, it was one of those few matchups that you just couldn't wait to watch happen. But they also didn't have the Alter Champs in the arena to support them. So this is why we're seeing such a different side of Alter Ego. The many faces, of course.
Yeah, so which face, which mask do we get to see this time around? There are 3 masks, and maybe if you play around with the masks a bit too much, it might just end up becoming a sweep. So the first mask apparently was Minsithar. What's the second one gonna be?
You know what? I think even that game had several masks. I'd like to consider the Guinevere as another. There's a few other safe, quote-unquote, roamers, but instead they went straight for the one that had the good 1-2. But if you can't catch the 1-2, you're kind of left there dying often. So I dare say stick to a max of 1 cheeky mask.
1 cheeky mask? I don't know, because it feels like if you have 1 cheeky mask, people like Light, Domenkai, or Demonkai in this particular case, if he happens to get a utility jungler, is looking to disrupt the Trigger Man in the first place, right? Anybody looking to initiate usually gets gunned down by Yue. I think that's why AE is making sure that they are looking for diverse angles to kind of keep AE on their Aurora on their toes, right? Look at your back, look in front of you. You don't know which way it's coming from.
So it's Gila or nothing. That sounds dangerous.
Hey, that sounds lucky to me.
Well, going up against a team like Aurora, how Gila can you get up until you reach that boiling point of can you actually stop this team? We did see shades of hope, though, of course, from Alter Ego with what they were able to get in terms of wins within the game, but they just could not get that big win to completely turn things around. Actually, no, I have to correct myself. They got that win, but then decided to get greedy and get another win, which eventually got turned in front of them.
Yeah, and I think if anything needed to change, it's just the fact that the cycling of their abilities, their ults take forever. I mean, this including Sora, but Minsithar, for an example, Leomord as well. There's a decent amount of waiting time.
Faction Pulse.
Faction
If
Pulse.
you miss,
yeah.
Kuma's just kind of left out there.
he's going to wilt eventually. And that's why whenever we see Aurora take these fights, just look at their ults real quick. Look at how many resources they actually still have.
Yeah.
They're hyper patient because they know AE usually is the one who likes to try to stretch out the rubber band.
Yeah, and that's something we have to credit Aurora for. Again, they always had those extra battle spells, that extra bit of dash, or that sudden crowd control ability that they were holding on to turn the fight later.
And I think they have one more ace up their sleeves that we don't count and you can't get in the draft or in a pre-game prep, is those weird angles.
Yeah.
More often in game one than AE could have, Aurora just had this weird way of getting behind them. I think if Alter Ego invested in a hero or heroes that could get more vision more reliably, then they can avoid that. That's definitely one way that they lost this game. If ever, that was the way they legit lost this game, via that flank by Dominkite.
And it's not just an Aurora thing too. I think it's a Filipino thing wherein we always have an ace up our sleeves ready to swipe a victory for ourselves.
Well, then that's why you have the two differing teams from the Philippines, TLPH and Aurora PH, where Aurora is the one who plays standard and TL plays, as their name goes, like Liquid. You gotta flow, you gotta make some preemptive calls, and they realized that AE was doing that 9 out of 10 times. Let's take advantage of it. Come at us. We already have that flank angle. But now AE, if they're going to try and take that initiative again, they need ults that come back up quick.
It's our showtime. Go into broken walls, hence why still Alter Ego would want to ban out the bounce shot. That would have been extra more annoying to deal with. While, funnily enough, a hero that puts up a wall for himself, well now a rampart, in broken walls, is actually one of the best heroes for this map. So that's a good ban here for Aurora.
Well, they also get rid of the quad. Oh, Freya on the red side. Does that mean that Aurora wants to kind of keep AE in check here? I mean, it feels like no matter what, it's going to be like the Sora opening, but Valentina this time is still wide out.
Ooh, I like how Aurora's approaching this, because again, they're forcing AE to make a different move. We beat your Sora, even without Valentina. What else is left?
So it's still going to be a Sora for Alter Ego, or are they going to switch things up around? Switch up the mask that they're wearing.
Okay.
Go for a little bit more standard. Eva's open.
Kalia is open.
Kalia is open.
Ooh. You know what? I like the former. I didn't even notice. Go for the Eve.
Yeah. Considering that they banned the Claude, it makes sense.
There we go. Really nice. Gotta be. Really nicely done. Now the question.
Or answer with a Yi Sun Shin Farsa?
I don't think it's a bad idea, but at the same time, you could be looking for options like Kalia, for an example, for light, and then after that, get the Yi Sun Shin and kind of, let AE develop their draft a little bit more.
So Farsa Kalia. So you get that combo.
Yeah. I feel like Farsa, I think, is a solid base to hold on to. It's not going to be that. They still go with Joe YSS. Similar picks for Aurora as the last game.
And I'm thankful because there's so many times when we see Light get his hands on the clear, it's like all or nothing. But with the Cho, there's a little bit more leeway with getting in and out of the fights and really positioning yourself well. Now, AE on the opposite side, we have access to the RWM. We're not going to go with the Kimmy, with the Sky Piercer. We're going with Leo Mort, on top of actually having the Hilda as well to try and disrupt Demon Kite in his jungle pathing.
Yeah, I like the readjustment here by Alter Ego. Same idea, but this time a different picture. Hopefully not too cheesy a pick for RP. They could go a little bit more solid here depending on the picks of Aurora. I mean, the Harith is still an option because it pairs up really well for an Eve, and you have a Leomord with it already, so you don't have to worry about it being the only carry.
And I also like that there's less stress on Alec. He played the Guinevere in game 1. I believe his record was 0-5-X. So now with the Hilda, same with the Cho. Even if you're not winning and you're not as aggressive, there's a lot of things you can do. Provide vision, check in on certain lanes, maybe even threaten a kill if you have just as much economy to build the Fury Hammer casually in the mid game. I think this is a good start.
It's a good start for both sides, but I feel like right now AE is a bit on the back foot, right? On the second half of the banning phase, I'm expecting a couple of things. Like Aurora have kind of set themselves up for a potential double fighter lane. AE, I feel like they want to lean back into a traditional marksman for Arfi. That's one small synergy if he goes for something that's physically inclined. That way he can take advantage of the armor reduction from specifically the Hilda. But then it's really awkward, right? Because let's say he takes Granger. Oh no, there's Cho. I have to take Purify, and that's an easy Harith on the opposite end.
Interesting decision here by Aurora. They're still thinking that this Hilda could suddenly go into the EXP lane for Nino. as they still ban out the Kalea.
Not the worst.
Well, it makes sense because they haven't revealed what Edward's playing too.
Yeah.
So they just want to be open to the possibilities.
Yeah.
Are they going to start attacking gold laners? Both teams.
Is it going to be
No.
So the Uranus, actually the Uranus would have been perfect here for Aurora. So another good block by Alter Ego. Still, they could lean towards Edward getting a dive. Still get the Lapu Lapu even if you can.
I mean, yes, he can still get the Lapu Lapu, but what would be the cost? Does it mean they have to get rid of like things like Esmeralda?
It is gone already.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Alter Ego banned it earlier.
What else can they go for? Glue maybe? No, that's not going to be enough. He's definitely wanting to go for Lapu Lapu, which means that Nino is thinking, how do I get to the back line? I mean, he can still play Yuzong, worst comes to worst, right? Yeah, good ban of the Khalid though.
So it's like they're shoehorning this Hilda into the role. Which I think, which is why they banned out the Kimi here. Yes, we saw the Kimi versus Slaymore matchup earlier, and it did not fare well for Aurora Turquia. But those were different elements. They had a Cho on the other side. This time, if it is a Hilda forced into the roam, the Kimi would be great because you can slowly pepper down her health and then force her back. The Arlott, this was actually a very good read by Alter Ego. Would have messed up the more honest approach that Alter Ego has drafted so far.
So they're more willing to run themselves into the Lapu Lapu.
Yeah.
They're looking at Aurora saying, let's do that again, Mr. MVP. Let's do that again.
What if it ends up becoming a Alice for Edward as the last pick if Alter Ego's damage profile isn't right? The Claude's already got. Now they have the Harith as well. Wait.
Oh, yikes.
There's going to be a Phoveus for Alter Ego if ever.
I mean, there's a really good reason actually, the Phoveus, don't get me wrong, but I feel like at this point, unless AE is willing to make that pivot, it really depends on RP right now. Looking at the goal lane, it's like, hey, sir, you either play a fighter and maybe win the lane, or you get the Granger and you're going to get dove like almost 100% of the time.
I think the Granger Eve with a Hilda, Claymore, then theoretically a Phoveus is a good front.
Yeah, even if that is difficult for the Granger, they need the extra damage support to make this Leomord count.
Yeah. The Leomord is going to be the sweeper. Okay, they get the Yuzong in the EXP lane.
And there it is.
And there's the Granger. They don't go for the Phoveus. They want a little bit more crowd control and high impact. They go for the Yuzong. Last pick here for Aurora.
Which I like. This fits the Alter Ego playstyle. I don't want them to go 50-50.
But now, I'm really vibing with the Alice, but that's a lot of magic damage. You might need a bit more physical.
Well, honestly, what else do you have? What other options are better, right? We need something that's tanky, that can peel, that helps like 3 of our squishies on top of our initiator, who isn't considered to be the tankiest in that role.
Alice or Lapu.
I lop back to Lapu, just get the DR when you can just go Alice and have like, oh, I'm never going to die.
But it's going to be Aurora.
It's a question of like that early to mid and the the damage profile. So it's all in on Demonkind. That's it. That's the only physical that they're looking for. But I'm afraid that this demands too much economy.
That is actually a good point. What if Aurora doesn't even get to the point where their own Alice is going to be a problem? What if Alter Ego ends up taking control of the early game? But they do have a Cho and Kimi. So vibe here. Which lineup are you guys going for?
My vibe is leaning a little towards AE because this depends on their laning phase. If their laning phase doesn't go well, Aurora will take full control.
They have the timer, the 0 and 2 under 5 minutes timer on the Yuzong. So with that said, I'll be a little more optimistic. Maybe Aurora's got this.
I'm leaning towards Aurora, but I'm watching out for Arfi on that Granger, man. He was a menace with it through MPL Indonesia Season 16. Then he might show the world and let the world see him on that Granger. Game number 2 of Aurora versus Alter Ego. Mirko and Trex, how you guys doing?
We're feeling good. We're ready. Aurora Gaming start things off 1-0. Alter Ego now need to make a statement to try to even things out, Mirko.
Yeah, think about the Granger on RP. It got to a point where me and Sheffin started calling him the Granger Merchant. Then he pulled out every random gold laner you can think about, the Uranus goal, all that. We were like, forgive us, Arfi. We were not familiar with your game. So now that he's back on the Granger, it's actually interesting. Are the fighter goals just not working after last game? They tried the Mitatar. Was that too loco? Because Arfi, he's definitely still got it! Almost a solo kill. Doming having a flicker early.
Speak of the devil, Arfi already making plays on the Granger. Now, I really like this Hilda. I think this is something that's going to give Alter Ego the ability to be as aggressive as they wanted to be last game. They can get into their face. They can steal camps like what we just saw. And it's going to give Yasuke the freedom to also move into enemy territory.
Yeah, just look at the winning lanes. They're already talking about an alter ego. Definitely, oh my goodness, even down below, Nino with the Petrify. All inning Edward, forcing him back. At least Demon Kite will be able to go up top to cancel out free Cold Crab take for RP. But again, for Alter Ego, now they have 3 winning lanes to play around.
Yeah, I mean, 3 winning lanes, a winning river, a winning map at this point, and it feels comfortable for them. This is what I think they wanted to bring last game, but they just didn't have the draft. I like the YZ pick as well. It's going to work great with this RWM later on in the game. I mean, they have this death box they created. It's dangerous.
He's going to go all in onto Demon Kite, but he has the Traceless, so he pops it in, gets away with the Mounted Shocker. But that is a free XP Crab over onto Nino, and that gets him level 4. As now, this really should be a free neutral objective for Alter Ego. Yisun Chin was already down. He was too low. If he comes around here, Nino just pops into Black Dragon, and then it's cooked. It might even be a free purple.
Try to convert it into a purple for sure. Once Yasuke shows up, it's going to be hell.
Yeah, there you go. Black Dragon form used up. Yasuke still saving the Retribution. Didn't use it earlier. Throwing a ruin of the flicker combo into the back line as Nino gets cooked by G Kundo. Alec gunned down. Yue picking up the kill. RWM there. Whoa, burst through Edward.
Nino, though, gets the Petrify. A lot of damage on a Demon Kite. It takes him out.
With the DOT as Yasuke stampedes through Aurora Gaming Philippines. Now this is the start that Alter Ego wanted last game, but can only find in game 2.
We're second in that last fight. I was a little worried. Wait a second, Yasuke caught up in the midst.
Yeah, with the G Kundo, but he's all good. Yue doesn't deal nearly enough damage to really threaten Yasuke right now.
As I was saying in that previous fight, it felt like Aurora Gaming had the advantage. Nino, even getting low, the AE were able to kind of back off and then re-enter into the fight and turn it into their own hands.
Yep.
Yasuke with the steed is feeling clean up in the top side. Maybe a play, but AE just continuing to get vision, continuing to get information.
You got to constantly put the pressure down onto Aurora Gaming Philippines. And at this point, it's surprising that the lead isn't higher. I really thought it would be higher at this point, knowing that they were able to take the purple buff and all that. Light, but the Shunpu could flicker out. Now the Phantom Steed now over on Light. Could Mountain Shocker to disengage, and we get to check the items.
Taking a look at the...
That's it. That's it.
That was it.
We got a glimpse.
Only get to check those things. Remember that.
You blink and you miss it. If you don't remember it, it's your fault. Skill issue, bro.
Nobody's hit a full item yet, though. Yasuke has got in what maybe looks like the beginning of a Endless Battle. Is he going to go for Endless Battle first? Or no, Hunter Strike?
Yasuke?
Yasuke.
Yeah. Go for the War Axe, I think.
War Axe up front. Wait a second, though. Black Dragon in the backside.
Interesting. There's a Petrify on Yue as well. Gonna go for the all-in under turret. Nino actually gets the kill. And I was getting the stampede from Yasuke. Away the Dragon to go for it there. And disengage Nino taken down by Demon Kite. It's 1 for 1.
EXP for mid. Not a bad trade overall, but at this point, now Nino's on the clock. You know?
Yeah.
One more death. And that's a wrap. You're just a linebacker at this point.
Is Nino a carry or is he a linebacker though, right? Because I think he can play both roles depending on the situation. But the thing is, the turtle was spawning. There was no reason for them to do all that, you know? Like they were doing too much, Unk.
Who you calling Unk, bro?
Them.
Them. All right, just want to make sure. Just want to make sure. All right. And you, second turtle of the game. Edward holds down the front line. Then all three go break through.
Oh, throwing a ruin, zoned them away. The RWM comes down, but it's not going to be enough damage right there. His light's going to be taken very low. RP with the help of Ijume. Void blasts him to the ground. So it's a turtle for a kill, but it's a kill on Light.
Kill on Light. I mean, overall, wait a second. Maybe a kill on someone else?
No, man. Dashing through Oh, has to flicker out there. He saw Ijume. He saw a glimpse of Ijume. He's like, yeah, nah. I ain't handling all that smoke.
And Nino takes a tower on the bot side, though. The first tower of this series so far. Possibly a second on top, unless UA can do something about it.
RP goes for the Rhapsody instead, wants to just clear it out. Knows he has another wave that is going to come through, so he's going to take the turret down. Inevitable. It'll be inevitable. And it is the War Axe for Yasuke. Right after the Fury Hammer, he went for the War Axe path. That's why I was unsure, like, is he actually going for Heptaseed? Probably not. War Axe, and there it is. So just to get him a little bit more physical penetration before he gets the War Axe.
And on the other side, Aurora Gaming, Defensive items into the hands all around. Skypiercer also coming in for Arfi. He hasn't gotten a kill yet on the board, but with the pace that things are going for Alter Ego, it feels good. You're at a 3K gold lead. This is the time to buy it and start scaling and just put the nail into the coffin.
Yeah, Alec with the power of Wilders straight onto Demon Kite. Traction pulse will lock Yazuke down, but there's no one to follow it up, and Yazuke gets the red tree on the orange before Demon Kite can.
Yeah, this is exactly what Aurora Gaming was hoping wouldn't happen. This is what they were able to stop last game.
Yep.
This next turtle, Aurora Gaming was able to take second turtle. Third turtle could be huge. This could be the thing that takes this 3K gold lead into a 4, and then the Stampede is truly on as we get into the 8, 9, 10-minute mark. First Lord, Alter Ego just need to keep on hitting the gas if I'm them. Keep on stealing purples, keep on stealing oranges. Don't let up.
And that's exactly what they're doing. They're pulling a Trex 101 as to how to utilize the horse in MLBB. And I gotta say, man, I'm just not a fan of Edward on an Alice, you know? Like, it's a playmaker show. Oh, what? Level the Jiku, the breaker away the dragon as well. They go all in onto Nino, but the RWF catches you in the back as Yazuke goes for the steed. And I don't think Aurora will want any more smoke after using those resources. A petrify from Nino, but a good flicker out from Edward.
Very well done by Alter Ego.
Like, oh,
second.
Chasing the Yisun Shin down. 1v1 me, bro! Balanced hero, by the way.
Balanced hero, totally. Now in the mid side as well. Use the K wants 1v1 as well. Just across the map. They're throwing hands. They're ready.
But they can win those 1v1s. The thing is, for Aurora Gaming Philippines, Demon Kite's so far behind, he can't win any 1v1s. Against the Granger, I think he's cooked. Against the Eve, probably same. Against the Hilda, 100%.
Is this going to be another orange buff into the hand?
Bro, how?
He's not even farming his own jungle at this point.
You know who's farming his jungle? Demon Kite. Demon Kite's on the other side, farming the jungle. But because of that, they lose so much tempo. And Alex able to bait out the Zaman Force of all things. Flickers out to safety. At least Demon Kite. Oh, no. Was he seen? I think he was seen. No. Are they going to go for... Okay, no. He gets away. I thought he was seen by the turret. That's why Alter Ego move bot. That was a bit scary.
No, you mentioned Edward on the Alice earlier.
Yeah.
I do agree. I want to see Edward on something aggressive. I want to see Edward on something, damage dealing. You look at some of the EXP laners in the Philippines, Sanford, Edward, these guys can make plays happen.
Yes.
And you don't want to put them on something passive like this. Something proactive.
Again, Alec the back line, able to go in, but it's going to be the Skypiercer stack for free as Edward jumps around. Blinking back to the turret, RWF, oh, so much damage from Hijime, but not nearly enough to zone them away from clearing that wave. So Aurora, despite this big lead for Alter Ego, they're standing their ground, man.
Yeah, slight misplay from Alec there. Going too deep, not knowing exactly. I mean, yes, you have the gold lead, but you can't just jump into their face under towers like that. You still need to keep it smart because you catch one Mount Shocker to the face, and it's GG's. Now, Dolmen Kite is going to end up possibly being one of the saving graces here.
Yeah.
He's got 2 items in. I still think he needs one more. You've got the Feather. You've got the...
Holy Crystal?
Holy Crystal.
Next? Oh, the next one. Starlium Scythe. He has. Yes,
He
sir.
already has Starlium Scythe. We're coming into Holy Crystal. Once he has that, the damage might just pull through. But that's a while out.
Yeah. It is going to be a while. Oh, good Petrify. UA forces the flicker out before the fight even starts. Now the Black Dragon forces the throw. The Ruin goes to the back line, but Yazuki gets blocked by the way to Dragon.
Yazuki able to take out Edward and get the Lord.
Yazuki was blocked, but it doesn't matter, Nino! On 2, 1 swing and a tail, and it's 2 members down. What's 2 plus 2 Trex?
4.
Quick math, and that's how many members of Aurora went down that fight.
Plus a Lord. I mean, they robbed the bank at this point. 5. Exactly. That's a lot.
Make it 6 and 7 with the small camp. Look. They're going to leave
that one. It's only 6.
The 6.
The 6 lives were lost in that
7.
battle.
Maybe minions. Do we count minions?
No,
Trex?
no,
minions.
those aren't people.
Minion. Whoa. Minion lives don't matter? Okay. Let's take a look at the item builds real quick again to see exactly how they dealt that much damage. Yazuki, brother, I could have sworn he was locked down. He got up like it was nothing, dude.
Nothing at all. Alter Ego Esports with a 7,000 gold lead are going to crash into this base. And honestly, taking a look at Aurora Gaming's composition, They don't have any range. Yes, they can clear waves. Yes, they can shred lords, but they put themselves at risk while doing that heavily. And all it takes is one big dive, one good petrify from the Black Dragon, or everyone getting caught in this RWM. Alter Ego has the ability to do that.
Light in the back, trying to really look for the play now, but look at the Black Dragon form. Edward able to find 2 members on the throne room, and Alec tanks up the turn. A petrify from Nino!
Nino does go down, but wait a second, Edward falls. He2Man picks it up.
Man, the turret juggle was perfect. It was first Alec, and we thought it was Nino. But in the end, it was Yuzuki on the horse who took the turret shots.
And the tower goes down. Alter Ego got what they came for. More jungle stolen and another wave coming down the top.
No Trex, they want more. Absolutely, they want more. Look at how low that turret is up top. And Aurora, they just have to take it. There's no way they can fight. Phantom Steed comes around. Some Hunt Force defensively from Domenkite. And RP doesn't even have a Sky Piercer stack. Like, he's 0-0-4. This is as utility as the Granger gets.
He's still waiting. It's coming. Don't worry. Eventually.
The stacks were promised to him.
They were promised to him long ago. Written in stone.
Lisan Al-Gaib. It was in the prophecy.
It was in the prophecy.
The Granger Merchant prophecy of MPLID. But he's no longer a Granger Merchant, so that's unfair.
You know? The great ego himself.
The great ego himself. With a little bit of esports.
A little bit of esports.
Meanwhile, though, Yue, he got, I think, 1 Sky Piercer sack? But then
he got one and they took it away.
They took it away from him.
He's got 7 stacks.
6 or 7.
6 or 7.
But Alter Ego have a 10.5k gold lead, and really, it just gets tough. Yes, they have scaling. Aurora Gaming Philippines, they have really good clear.
Oh, Holy Crystal, finally. But is it too late?
I think that delays the power spike a bit, right? The enemy team is 10,000 gold ahead, so you might have to wait for Divine Glaive before the power spike actually hits. But even then, he's on a flicker, so it's so hard to go in for free hits. Oh, Nino! Black Dragon from the back. Oh no, Yue! Can you run away? It's Nino flying around now as Yuzuki gets on the steed, but Barbiel ain't fast enough.
He ain't fast enough, but can he go back to the Lord? And with that, a lot of ults are gone from Alter Ego.
Edward on 2, Zaman Force on Domain! Dive to the back, RP! Gets Edward down to petrify! From Nino! And the stacks that were promised came true! It's now RP with a triple kill! And he's looking for more! One that's Sonata!
That's
RP gets a Maniac!
Yazuke now gonna move in! And Arfi, the stacks were promised and the game will be as well.
It's just Demon Kite left. Pops in the Mountain Shocker. Alec tanks up the turret and they go all in, even under the fountain. It's 1-1.
Alter Ego tie the series. This is only game 2 of the knockouts. And so far, we continuously are going the distance. The stadium feels it. And I think us casters feel it as well. Renmar, Gideon, Leo, how we doing?
I'm feeling it. I'm definitely feeling it too. Alter Ego, they take the condition. We pose the question, what if it actually gets to the point where the Alice is not a problem? And it definitely happened. It did not get to the point where it was a problem. Alter Ego, Nino, leading the charge.
Was too expensive a lineup, I'll tell you now. We were waiting for that third item on Domenkite. Demon Kite was struggling, he was begging, he was starving for a majority of this very short game in context of how long the rest of today's matches were. So, again, I think it's Aurora. It's them. It's on them now to say they spent too much time. They were too confident saying we can get the farm.
I think simply put, there were just not enough winning lanes. And when you thought that Domenkite was going to be the one right at level 1, proven wrong, that Arfi, he still got it on that Granger. I am so impressed with the way that AE finds these insane angles. However, the commitment coming out of AE, similarly to the Alter champs, unwavering. Does it look bad? Do we use a lot of ults? Doesn't matter. We go.
I mean, call back to MPL Philippines Season 16 playoffs. Early on, we're like, how are we going to solve this Alice problem? It didn't take long until Yu Zhang came back and said, now I am the solution to the Alice problem in the lane. It is demanding of any Alice player, no matter how consistent and great they are, to lane up against that Yu Zhong, and that became the perfect answer to the Alice.
Yeah, Aurora's lineup did not live up to the ultimatum of give it 2 deaths before 5 minutes, and the big sandworm in the sky is solved. It's not. This is Nino playing like a carry Yu Zhong.
As he should, because he played that laning phase phenomenally, getting an early Petrify to get a crazy trade to completely negate the lane from Alice's side, set the tempo for the upcoming turtle, because by the time he had Black Dragon form, he was like, what, 12 seconds off the Petrify to use again?
Let's see who the MVP is. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Nino. Of course it's Nino. 4-1-3 on this Yu Zhong. The Petrify, the Furious Dives, the aggression set by him alongside Alec, providing all of the space that the rest of Alter Ego needed.
The stacks that were promised to Arfi would not have come if it were not for the efforts of this Yu Zhong early on, all right? And in the mid game, I love how you just randomly Black Dragon form, play around in the back line, and if he can combo out, and then on his way out, kill somebody with the power of Shok, then, you know, that's just him saying, you know what, I might not be the carry, but I can try.
And I love the way that he's conditioning all the weaker, well, softer members from the side of Aurora, like Yue, for an example. He was starting to recognize, wait a minute, and even Light recognized, wait, when he's in that Black Dragon form, he's using Petri in the middle of the air to set up that combo rather than just the Furious Dive, which is why we saw a lot of preemptive flickers throughout the game. Once that standard was set and the conversions from turtle fights turned into purple buffs, I think it was pretty fairly quick that Aurora was like, man, these fights are near impossible to win.
Gideon Renmar, I'm glad that Nino showed us this kind of performance, because I thought I was getting an aneurysm. I thought I was in a fever dream saying, yo, is Yu Zhong cooked? Is he just suddenly out of the meta? Because we saw very little of it throughout the day. And finally, here's one that got an MVP performance.
My sleeper hit for this game is actually Hijime. I brought up earlier about how his already World Championship experience for country, for Indonesia in IESF 2022 will be a factor. I always appreciate any EVE game that shows us the value of timing your real-world manipulation at the perfect time. Whether it's going to be part of the initiation or the late fight-changing ultimate to cover any of the Aurora responses, Hijime was great on this EU.
And all of that started in the early game, right? Where Hijime got that initial freeze onto Yue. He could not walk up into the lane anymore. And with the help of the Hilda alongside him, Alec, he was doing a phenomenal job. He was not only disrupting Demon Kite, but he was also pulling the attention of Light as well, which in cause gave up on the lane where Yue just had to just back off and eat Void Blast after blast.
Yeah, what this Hilda brings the AE is what they needed in game 1. They needed a safe way to check bushes, safe way to flush Light out from these weird angles, and that allowed for them to be the aggressors. That allowed for them to embrace the playstyle they were looking for, even from game 1. Because I'll tell you, even if they lost game 1 in like 18 minutes, they were still playing an Alter Ego playstyle. Talking about Hijime, right? Just to circle it back, he got so many freaking kills in game 1.
To add to the value of the Alter Ego lineup here, in game number 1, we made a huge point about how Aurora timed abilities, timed battle spells. What then if you're up against a lineup that just forces you to use those? Because if you don't, then you're going to get set on easily by any member of Alter Ego. So this aggression was, I feel like, a little bit more calculated in terms of forcing out key resources from the members of Aurora.
Well, it certainly helps when they were ahead in terms of gold, right? When you're 2,000 ahead, it feels a lot more comfortable. When you're 10K ahead, it feels like you can do no wrong. And I think in this particular game, it's a good case study for whether or not how much aggression is good and how much value do you get from it ultimately. Because let's keep in mind, Hijime, he was trying to use the RWM to get a T1, right? To deny space from Aurora to be able to touch that wave. Luckily, Aurora was able to clear it out, but the same impact goes, right? How much impact can that RWM get? And that was the question every single time they 5v5.
Yeah, compounding interest. If this aggression leads to you choking out on economy, we will continue, we will do it. It's just, they were lucky, again, Hoki, that it was more than just compounding interest. It was legit, just sheer value in gold, in EXP, and in blood. 13-4 in 13 minutes, that's a kill per minute.
I feel like this is a learning for Aurora, though, that if they decide to lean towards a lineup that is a little bit more counter-focused, it's not going to end well for them. With Alter Ego, the aggression that they show, that once they have that lead, it's hard for them to let go and hard to take it back of your Aurora. If there's one thing that I now want to put under a microscope, it's that Kimmy pick at third. We saw the Hilda, we saw the Leomord, and theoretically, having the Kimmy this time around against an Hilda is, okay, Hilda's charging up at me, I'm constantly peppering it with basic attacks. But then that was already after you saw the Eve. Now, if it's Leomord and Hilda plus the Eve, the Kimmy value goes down.
Yeah, well, actually, I would say that if the laning phase went better, you could handle the Leo, because Leomord only comes in one direction 90% of the time, and at least when you are playing that traditional front to back, Kimmy gets a lot of value when her passive is up, and you can kind of gun multiple people down when they're coming at you. The problem is that, oh man, I gotta give it to them. The mid lane do it's just quickly throw sand in their eyes, duck under the punch, quickly attack the jungle, pull attention, and then they punished Light. Because every time he walks across that map, the brass tax was high. How many times did he actually have to recall throughout those fights? You count, you turn it back, and you count.
Really difficult decisions here for Aurora, which led to Alter Ego ending up with a lineup that plays more to their strengths with even more value. I mean, we can't take away from the fact that their game number 1 lineup does play to their strengths, except this time around, it's not so coded with, hey, let's make sure we layer everything really well at the same time. This one is like, we can wait on the real world manipulation. Just throw Barbiel out. It'll be okay.
It's pretty freestyle, and I think that definitely incentivized more fighting. And I guess it's just a nightmare for Aurora that they picked a scaling lineup. They can't afford to do that, not to La Familia.
Yeah. So for Aurora, maybe for the next games, they're going to want to draft the lineup, especially through the EXP lane, having a little bit more impact right away. And maybe this might be a learning also. Don't give Nino the Yuzhong because he's really good at it, especially when he gets the ball rolling. But now it's time for us to get an interview with some very familiar faces in the Indonesian community. And it's time for us, the global MLBB esports community, to learn more about them.
Thank you so much, casters. It's Eterna here in the venue right now. It is now a 1-to-1 between Aurora Philippines as well as Alter Ego. Now, Eterna's here not alone because right now we have Van Strong as well as Rin. So, welcome, boys.
Welcome.
Welcome juga. Okay. Van Strong, we want to know, what does it feel like watching from the sidelines and considering that Alter Ego was able to come back here in game number 2?
Dari POV gue sih game 2 bisa comeback karena kita udah reset aja sih. Karena game 1 yang gue lihat ya kita kayak nervous aja. Terus udah ke solve problemnya game 2 ya kita main at our base lah.
Okay, so he mentioned that they were able to come back in game number 2 because the game plan was a lot more solid. And of course, they were able to come back because they're not nervous anymore. Apparently in game number 1, there were nerves. Kenapa? Apa yang bisa bikin deg-degan? Apakah stage-nya? Atau karena lawannya? What made the nerves? Was it because it was game number 1 of the stage? Or was it because of being up against Aurora Philippines?
Gua rasa sih cuma gara-gara first match di stage yang ini sih. Jadi makanya nervous dikit aja.
Okay, so Van Strong mentioned that it looked like there were a lot of nerves because this is a new stage here for the second day of the knockout stages. Now let's go to Rin. Rin apparently can speak English now. So he will reply in English. Yes.
Of course.
Okay, Rin, because you're so good at English, we're gonna ask you here. Rin, why is everyone bald?
Karena enak aja, nggak gerah.
Oh, okay, because it's nicer, it's not hot. Because I saw in your interview previously with Monica that people said from Alter Ego said that they are all bald because you told them to be bald. Is that true?
Ya, karena saya ingin mengumpulkan jajaran para orang botak dan menjadi baik hati dan tidak sombong.
The other champs are going wild. Apparently, Rin said that they're all bald, and Rin asked everyone to be bald because he wants to combine a line of what? Of bald soldiers that are humble.
Bald circle.
Bald circle.
Yes.
Soldier.
Yes.
All right. So, what's your design for today? Apa desainnya hari ini?
Apa-apa?
Untuk kamu. Kamu di kepalanya desainnya apa hari ini?
Desainnya SpongeBob dan Rata Gang.
The design is SpongeBob. All right. Van Strong, do you think now we're seeing a 1-1? Remember, this is the best of 5. Do you think Alter Ego can come back full 3-1?
I'm confident my team will come back lah. Will 3-1.
Oh, okay. Nggak boleh gitu loh.
Oh, Oki.
Hoki.
Game 2 kita menangnya Oki.
Okay, they won game 2 because of the luck. Don't remember the passive. Remember?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oki game 2 Oki.
Game 2 was lucky. They were just lucky. All right, Rin, to close this off, we want to hear your voice. All right. So there's so many Alter champs in the building right now here in M7. We want to hear you cheer.
Okay,
You have to lead the cheer, okay?
Ready?
Ready? Semuanya ready?
Alter Champs mana woi? Pas gue bilang Alter Ego, kalian bilang go ya. 1, 2, 3, Alter Ego! Go!
Keren banget. That was very nice. Thank you so much, Rin.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Van Strong, for this interview. Thank you so much, Alter champs. Thank you so much, because we're going to throw it over back to our casters.
So Filipino, I just want to say, I love that the Alter champs were inspired by local legend Rufame Quinto with the go chants, of course. And now they're going wild with a go for Alter Ego as they have tied up the series. And even Van Strong said he's confident that his team is going to be able to seal it up with a 3-1. But we're still going to be going into what is going on. What is that?
I would like to propose a new cheer for the Alter champs.
Oh, a new cheer for the Alter champs. Did you and Gideon work on this? Okay. What is it?
Me and Mirko too. Like,
Oh yeah, Mirko as well. So what is it?
we are Alter champs. There's a little shoulder dance involved. We're workshopping it.
It'll get there. But I think what's so exciting about AE for me personally, as an individual comes from MPL MY, a lot of the AE members so happen to come over as imports, and I mean they've kind of given a different perspective on what AE is all about. They're not just about all aggression. They're pretty smart at what they do, and they know the fundamentals enough to break them on purpose. And I think that's the key difference here.
Of course, we know the history as well of the coach of Alter Ego with esports background already. I'm going to M7. That's what he said. And now here he is. And I like the restructuring of the draft, the change of approach. Game number 1, a little bit too gila. Game number 2, balanced out the gila, and then eventually worked out well for them. So hopefully we get to see more innovation from Alter Ego. While for the side of Aurora, I think now it's their turn to do a little bit of restructuring in their draft decisions. I thought we were heading into the draft. That's why I was setting things up this way. But right now, it's time for us to thank some friends. Wish we had our friends here for this one, but we don't. So we're just going to thank Secret Lab first and foremost.
That's right. Play better for longer with Secret Lab's ergonomic chairs used on stage by our athletes. It's trusted by the world's best MLBB teams. Whether you're enjoying a casual game with friends, climbing to Mythic onward, Secret Lab can elevate your game with tournament-grade ergonomic support, the very same kind that powers the pros on the elite stage.
Yeah. Right now, I'm actually using the Secret Lab Invisible.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
see?
the foot. No, it's actually the footstool that they. Obviously, it doesn't come with.
What do you mean footstool? I'm not using a footstool. This is totally height accurate right now.
Yeah, 100%. Quickly pick up the Secret Lab Titan Evo, one of my personal favorite chairs to sit on. Definitely love the GU leather, of course, but more importantly, the ergonomic advantages that you get from it. I like the fact that it's just all magnetic. It's something that tickles my pickle a little.
Excuse me?
It's his cup of tea.
Yeah, it is. And you see it on your screens right now, the Secret Lab Titan Evo. So scan the QR code if you want more information on the model. And I love how we get special treatments for the Secret Lab chairs every M series.
Yeah, year in, year out.
Yeah, different color schemes. I wonder if there's some lucky individual out there in the world who just has like every Secret Lab M series collab ever.
Don't look at me like that. I only have like 2. I have 2 out of the.
That's 2 more than I have.
That's
Sir, we don't even have 1.
Oh, yikes. Oh, yikes. Well, that's unfortunate for you guys. I'll guess I'll enjoy the benefits for myself because that's not the only thing that I've been enjoying in terms of benefits, because one of the few things, and honestly, it's my guilty pleasure, I've been checking out Acecraft. It's a SDG build around adaptability. It's got like a lot of roguelike elements where you have random skills, bullet deflection mechanics, and a retro cartoon style, all designed for fast, skill-driven aerial combat. So jump into Acecraft right now for some nostalgic fun.
He was playing this whole time.
Oh, no wonder. That's why you keep getting the real memes per month. And you're still in game, man.
Stop! You don't have to tell everybody.
Jeez. You're gonna lose that if you don't get ahead and play it. But hey, while you're playing Acecraft, well, no, we have jobs to do. Let's talk about the draft now for game number 3. What to expect? Balancing for Alter Ego. Right now, I'm not looking a lot of requirements from Alter Ego. Now I'm looking for what the adjustments will be for Aurora. And hey, there's a little bit another surprise here.
They could refer to the MLBB Academy. It's been fully upgraded. Get personal weekly reports to understand your pacing, strengths, weaknesses, along with complete match history. So every big moment is recorded. You can also rate trending topics and share your perspective. Whether you're tracking stats or joining the conversation, MLBB Academy is where your matches are there for you to watch, and it helps you understand your growth in Mobile Legends Bang Bang. You can check it out on mobilelegends.com/academy.
Thank you to all our friends, and of course to everything that we have available for you as MLBB grows into the phenomenon that it is in 2026 moving forward as well. So now, this actually would have been a smoother transition to talk about the draft. So let's talk about the draft for Aurora. I think with our conversations earlier, what we're looking for Aurora now is quite simple. Impact for Edward and not taking too long for Scale.
And that last point, yes, just to rephrase, respect the economic balance. Like, don't try to cram as much, oh, we need EXP, we need this gold in this little time, assuming that age is going to let you do it.
Well, I personally think that I feel like Aurora needs to grow a bigger ego, right? I feel like they need to be like, no, I'm picking these heroes, I'm gonna beat you in lane, end of story, because that's honestly what happened in game number 2 for AE side. So it's not like Aurora is bad in any means. Let's just micro them out.
Dare I say, I feel like that game 2 draft was actually them showing a bit of their ego. Them picking up that Kimmy and thinking that, hey, we can win the mid.
Assuming they'll get away with it.
Assuming they'll get away with it. Edward ending up with the Alice, even though we've already seen that Yuzong gives Alice a lot of trouble. It's like, you can get away with it.
Yeah.
So now, the ego is there. I think it's, again, what was the statement that you mentioned about economic?
Respect the economic balance.
Respect the economic balance.
I think if they practice too much ego is what would cause their downfall, on the contrary, because again, this team is known to have mastered the basics because, you know, it's upon their coach's name, and they're just so good at the fundamental game that is MLBB. So I'd say use that, do that.
I think the bigger question they have to answer is how do they deal with these sanctions and tariffs that's supposedly coming from AE side? Because every single time they move out of the lane, how many people have to recall? How many people have to pay the tax?
I know what you're talking about. The aggro tax.
Exactly.
If you want to go from lane to lane, get that double wave, guess who's waiting? It's Daddy Nino. If you want to make sure that your jungle is safe, guess who's checking in? Just throw in random, well, for the most part, magic damage in there is Hijume. So, again, respect that approach that AE is definitely going to bring in.
It's very simple MLBB terms for Aurora. More money, more faster. I think it's the simplest form that we can put it. More money, more faster. Respect the economic balance. Let's see if they're going to do just that for the draft for game number 3. As I'm pretty sure if Alter Ego go into the next one with a match point lead, this crowd is going to be way behind them to making sure that they seal the deal. We go into dangerous grass. I love grass. And now I love the picks that can come out here. Alter Ego might actually want to bring back Hilda, as it is great in grass.
Huh. Well, this is interesting. I mean, the Grok is banned out. This time the Fanny Freya alongside with the Leomord is getting banned out. I'm not sure if this is the right approach from the side of Aurora, because they are escalating and adapting from game to game with minor changes across the board.
Every ban in blue in the first phase is basically them just taking off the restraints. Because with these bans, and literally the one ban left for Alter Ego, you know, what's going to be left out there? Kalia, Eve, Farsa, Sora, like all of these high priority targets are coming through, and they're getting a good trade in mid for sure. Eve or Zushin. I didn't even mention Zushin.
So is Jushin gonna show up now?
I mean, it kind of depends, right?
Gotta be Zushin.
I mean, Yue can play both of them, which is why I feel like it's kind of up to him. Coach is going to be asking him, like, what do you feel into here today? And we'll adjust accordingly, because no matter what, I feel like on AE side, Hijime has made nasty moves on this Eve. He might get it again, but at the same time, they can set up for the eventual Claude.
Yeah, the Eve is a good thing to consider, but they're going to Jushin.
Gotta be Jushin. Claude, right? Because again, Aurora already made their bet and said, let's try to give him the Eve. It couldn't be that bad. And I think in their minds, they looked back at game 2 and said, it wasn't that bad. Go for the Zushin.
And there it is. Good call, Gideon. It is the even Claude, as the Freya is no longer an issue here for Aurora. So what's the matchup going to be for Domikite? How does he want to handle this Claude now? Don't tell me he's just going to fall into the carry. He's up against a lineup with an Eve, Ranger.
You want a combo. You want to get, the damage on whoever you slam.
What? Really? The Khalid was going to be the go-to here rather than just exposing the EXP later early on? But they also get the Harith as well. And I think it's a little more comfortable from Domikite's POV. It's like, yeah, sure, you are a WM, but as soon as it's gone, that's when I'm going to be running through you.
This is like too hardcore comfort. The Khalid, I can make a bit of a weak case for. A case is there, but it's weak. The Harith, I don't know.
I don't like the Khalid this early because it's so easy for Alter Ego to invest in tiny crowd controls to counter the quick sand guard.
Yep. There's a lot of easy ways to kind of deal with it. Valentina going to be the follow-up ban for the side of AE. It feels like they've got this in the bag, but I know Aurora ain't going to just let this go for free. Now, the only thing I think the Khalid is a little strange here is because they could have shown EXP. They could have shown EXP very early on and really hammer it down.
It's a lot strange. It's not just a little strange.
Yeah, I mean, and really just force Nino to be like, hey, if you didn't get the Sora now or later down the line, you would have to play sandbag.
I'm thinking that Aurora decided to go for the Khalid early on because they probably were already thinking, okay, we want fast tempo because we're up against a Claude. We want to take control of the center. Khalid's one of the best heroes to do that. Sure. They were probably already thinking that Alter Ego is just going to ban it out in the second phase. Let's go ahead and pick it up in the first phase. I'm not to say that it's the perfect reason to go forward, but that could be the vision that they are going for. Not the biggest supporter of it, but I sort of see what they wanted to go for.
It's a tough one. It's a real tough one here. Man, the Gwen. What else do you have to worry about here? Because there's a really good argument for AE to also just lean into the Fredrin if necessary.
Yeah. Are they blocking out junglers? Is that what they're looking at this Guinevere as?
I suppose, but
there's still no pick on Alec, and we know Alec, at least kind of prefers the Gwyn.
Mm-hmm.
Rome. I think she's going to match it up with Hilda.
Rome in jungle.
I think he goes Cho, right?
Yeah.
Gets Cho, forces Harith to take the Purify. Same goes for Claude on the opposite. And actually, Claude doesn't need it. There's no hard lockdown besides the Raging Sandstorm, but that's more towards the RWM than anything else. We see an Esme ban up there. Real good stuff from AE. Or, do they ban the Fredrin here? Are they worried about any potential flexes?
Yeah, I think maybe utility, because what if they're already eyeing Demon Tide is going to end up playing an assassin? Baksha God, Grok God, Leomord God, Fanny God. He could just end up falling into... I think the Lancelot might be a bit tough. Yeah, I think it is looking towards an assassin for him, either the Lancelot or the Hayabusa.
That's right. They just go Fredrin here, right?
Yeah.
Because if not, why did you ban out Baxia without getting rid of the other utility jungle on purpose?
Yeah.
That might have been a decision made from a different time. Again, we're going to the second phase now.
Oh, the denial of high loss. I like this a lot, actually.
Okay, Alec gets a huge zoning tool in addition to the real-world manipulation.
And now you know that Aurora won't have a roamer with Revitalize or any heal utility. Usually one of the factors you have to look out for when there's a high loss, Gatot, Kalea on either lineups is that can the other roamer match that healing for the rest of the team? Now the answer is no. And I don't think Aurora will have any picks left in the remaining picks to actually match that utility. Unless they shock and go Khalid XP, then pick up a roam still. But
It's been a while.
It's been a while, and it's up against the Sora. Quicksand Guard's not going to be the best. So, they go Lapu-Lapu for XP. They need a little bit more time to go with it. They get the Fredrin?
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Somebody was eventually going to get the Fredrin, right? We're all banking on it. I'm just surprised they wanted to go Lapu instead of Uranus here.
Okay. Aurora repaired the economic balance, but I'm afraid that it's not aggressive enough to deal with the current metagame, especially the way Alter Ego plays. But it might just work, because again, it's at least a safer package than whatever they were playing with in game 2.
Okay, the Fredrin will struggle theoretically against the high loss of the Eve alone. But then I think they were playing in the card of, okay, Alter Ego are expecting us to go Assassin. Nope, let's go ahead and pick up the Fredrin, so maybe this time they get forced into the Assassin. Will it be?
Jin? All right. Yeah. That was the only option that they could probably go for there. That's still flexible enough and still can actually find space in between in these fights. Oh man, this one's a little interesting, right? Because now they have double divers to actually deal with the RGM. It's clear that Hijume is the bigger problem.
Yeah. Good understanding of the impact of Hijume earlier, and when we look at the lineup rating, it leans heavily favored towards Rora. It's surprising. Damage profile, not my favorite, but yeah, I'm leaning towards them for this one.
Yep, the fundamentals that you're capable of executing with Aurora's lineup from early, mid to late. I like it. I'm in love. This might just get them to match point.
I'm seeing the way that AE has been playing so far. That momentum should be able to compensate for this. And honestly, if they don't go fast enough, it might just be over.
Game number 3 in this best of 5 series. 2 teams looking to redeem themselves in the eyes of the world. Drex, Mirko, say something smart.
Something smart.
Something
Is
smart.
what Mirko and Trex always say as we jump into the land of Dawn. If you're just joining us, it's 1-1 right now between AE and Aurora Gaming. Mirko, we want to see Edward on something proactive. He picks up the Lapu-Lapu. My only problem with their draft right now, at least for me though, is this Khalid.
Yeah. The Khalid is, I don't know, for me the Harith is quite questionable as well, honestly, going up against the Claude, right? Like, it isn't a winning matchup for Doming. Earlier, we saw the Granger versus Harith. We saw level 1. It was great for the Granger. But this time against the Claude, Claude's just going to outscale the Harith. And once you get Win a Crown, very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, the draft is clean, but Aurora Gaming definitely goes a little bit outside the box.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas Alter Ego brings us back to some simplistic Swiss stage type drafts. You have the Claude, you have the Sora, you have this Hylos. Just keeping it simple, a very straightforward draft overall.
And it's just crazy to see because, like, sure, Zeusin is amazing, but is it? Oh my god, light! The Khalid, that's a flicker! Void Blast, first blood for Hijume!
That's huge for the side of Alter Ego. Not only a first blood, plus a flicker. You get a lot of value out of that. A lot of times players will just let themselves die and not use the flicker, but now you've lost even more.
Oh man, Yue really tried there. He made him miss at least one cannon minion, but yes, flickers down there. It's going to be quite big. And again, at the bottom lane, Arfi already winning it out just purely from sustain. Because the thing is about the Claude, right? If you're up against the Harith, back then at least, the Harith will win in the trades, and then you're going to be forced back. But here, you never lose a trade in a way, because even if you lose a trade, 2 hits and you're back to almost full HP. The Fighter Emblem just gives you so much sustain.
Exactly. Normally the Harith with the range. Wait a second, to the mid side, RWM.
Oh man, they be caught. RWM doing so much damage on Yue. And that's another flicker down for Revitalize for Alec.
2 flickers down for the turtle.
You know, on the match spot in the air, taken down by the Khalid now. A good taunt landing on Alec. He's trying to get away. Hijume providing enough support. The Appraiser's Wrath nowhere near enough damage to take the horse down. But they regain control off the turtle. And now it should be free. Yazuke will not make it free though. He will take as many green camps. He will counter jungle as many camps as possible. But this is why they go Khalid. It's very difficult to farm up against him. Raging Sandstorm used up. But again, for Yue, no flicker. He's gonna chill on that one. You know, in the top lane! Solo kill against Edward!
Revenge was served in the top lane. Just in a moment of Aurora Gaming starting to control the map. Alter Ego fights back. I do want to talk about this Khalid a little bit more. Renmar did say you get that laning phase aggression. He outputs amazing damage in those first 4 levels, and Aurora Gaming have been capitalizing on that. They've been taking advantage of the quick movements Luckily, Alter Ego, though, is able to find some plays for themselves in the midst of it all.
Let's take a look at the items here. Quick check. Nothing too crazy. It's the rush for the DHS for Arfi as usual. And yeah, the Azure Blade plus the little book there to get you instant dashes, instant unlead dashes.
Dreadnought armor for Fredrin. He's probably going to switch over into some magic defense as well so he can get a little bit of best of both worlds. Turtle's not going to be up for 50 seconds, and Alter Ego just continuously hunting for something.
Oh, they get on the Crimson Beacon. Radiant Sandstorm with the Breaker over, landing on Yazuki. Now the RBM coming down as Yazuki is still able to survive, popping him out of shock before he dies as Hijime gets a trade on. And now it's Nino!
That's big. Demon Kite goes down. It's a 2-for-1 currently.
Bravest Fighter, the stun dodged away from Alter Ego. Walk away with the win. Demon Kite and Light down. But the thing is, it's a utility jungler and a tank for one of your carries.
I mean,
it's still worth it, but it's like...
I think taking jungle is what made that worth it. If you don't take jungle, it's definitely not worth it. But the fact that Demon Kite goes down, maybe Alter Ego's able to get a small advantage in terms of levels. Maybe they can convert that into an advantage on this next retry.
And also, that fight proves to us why a lot of Soras have been going for the concussive blast over Bracemite. He just rotates so quickly. Light up top, trying to get the pressure back for him. Alec with a walk up the taunt though. Comes around for Demon Kite. Yazuki's walking up as well. The Bravest Fighter coming up for Edward. That's a free turtle again to Demon Kite. 2 on the board with no response from Alter Ego. Nino, CC Immune brings Demon Kite into the turret range. Now Raging Sandstorm, good flicker from Nino, but he's gonna be caught, and it's Yue who gets the kill.
Alter Ego can do nothing about it right now. Even with the last turtle, they know we don't want to get into this. One taunt and you're all down.
Flickers him on for Yazuki, able to escape. RWM coming down on him, but Hijime, oh my god, Domeng is able to survive through it all with the unlimited dashes. And Hijime falls, Yazuki with the traceless forward, Light going in.
Looking for more. Aurora Gaming just continue to put on the pressure, but Yasuke wants to maybe jump back. Alter Ego, no, they can't take the fights right now. It's just the reality of the situation. There was nothing they seem to be able to do. They lay down a nice RDM. They do something perfectly, but Aurora Gaming still ends up winning. They have the damage, but they also have the defense. Is there a time? I think Alter Ego still needs maybe 8 minutes, 9 minutes till they can really put on a fight, until Claude can really lock in and get involved.
I guess so. Right now, he just is sitting on a DHS. The Harith is behind in gold, but you are active way earlier. And that may be the reason as to why they actually went for the Harith, despite being in a bad matchup, right? Like, Claude can get the gold lead, but how big is your lead going to be? It's not going to be a whole item diff yet, right? So, as long as Domeng gets the Starling Upside in the Feather Heaven, he can do this. Constantly solo kill! Domeng! Oh my goodness! That amount of shock with the Glorious Pathway in the mid lane. Alter Ego just cannot get any trades on the map.
They can't get anything at all, let alone trades. I mean, he's literally diving under towers. It's not even a trade to be found.
Who gonna stop him?
Nobody.
Nobody gonna stop Domeng. Zaman Force in, he knew Arfi did not have his flicker, and it was just the bang bang in Mobile Legends, man.
You know, we're
straight up.
We're talking about Domeng, but for me, it's Yue, 2-0-1, even earlier in that fight. Yes, Domeng didn't drop it. Yue's the one who dives in with the beacon, able to output the damage. And normally it doesn't seem, normally for me at least, the Jushins aren't chunking away, but Yue makes it look nasty.
Hey, speaking of Yue, give the all in from Nino, going on to Yue, goes with the damage as well. Yue able to survive for such a long time, and Nino had already used the flicker, he still goes in on the turret, but it's a trade at least.
Nino knew once he saw the Zaman's Force coming, it's like, all right, I have to fully commit.
Like, at least be complimenting him too much.
At least get the trade.
Nino he wants you to compliment him, bro. That's what he wants. You talk about Yue, he's like, nah, I want some of that, man. That's a stun though. Landing on Light. Oh, whoa. Okay. Hey, it's a safe play. Better safe than sorry, right?
All right, so taking a look at the items, still only a DHS for the Claude. And I think at this point, you're going to need the whole trinity. You're going to need the knife, you're going to need the wand, you're going to need it all to really be able to output, and that's a long while away at this point. We are 8.5 minutes in. 8.5 minutes in. And probably around 10, 11 minutes. That's when the third item's going to come. And by then, Aurora Gaming can turn this 2.7K gold lead into 4, 5, and just continue the snowball.
It's still within Aurora Gaming Philippines' power spike is the problem right now. Yeah, so Alter Ego, they're just going to have to wait and stall the game a bit longer. Because if we do get to the late game, this is where Alter Ego's composition really starts to pop off, right? They have 3 damage dealers. That's why it was very greedy for them to actually go for the Claude and then the Yi Sun Shin in the end. I really thought it was going to be a utility jungler too, right? But hey, that's the War Axe pickup, so they are getting to that point. It's just incredibly slow because in normal situations, you would actually be able to give gold, like more to the gold lane if you're on utility, or vice versa. If you're on the fighter gold, you give more to the jungle. Now everyone's kind of like looking for gold everywhere on the map, and it's just getting tough because Light has so much ground clearance on this Khalid. It's so easy for him to rotate top, bot, again, everywhere to stop the guys from farming or to counter jungle.
You know what's insane about this as well is Alter Ego got so many picks that we considered power picks.
Oh yeah.
They get this Claude, they have the RWM, they have big play potential here, but they're just not able to make it all work.
Let's see. Lord. Already taking half HP now. RP walking up, pops into BMI as Edward jumps in with the Bravest Fighter. That's where he sends him with the Blinker into the back line. It finds Hijumer. He pops into RWM, but it's a bit too late.
And Yakuse is trying to do something, but he's just not able to output the damage.
Traces is out to safety. Nino still kind of in the midst of it all, doing more damage over on Demon Cap, and RP goes in now on Yue, and it takes him down. It's just a 2-for-2 at the end of the day. Yazuke. Did he get taken down? No.
2 for 2 plus a Lord. UA, Light, Hajime, and Alec all fall. But the tower's going to fall next, and Aurora Gaming PH continues to push forward.
3.2k gold lead. Now, even if Alter Ego hit their power spike again, if Aurora are able to build a lead that bypasses that power spike, it's going to be big trouble for Alter Ego. They will have good clear still with the Yi Sun Shin. Let's take a look at the replay to see exactly what happened in that fight.
I mean, it's just a full-on dive in the backside. And look at Yazuke. Normally, that many free hits, you're going to be able to take someone out, but the damage just isn't there yet. Arfi as well, chipping away on a UA. It takes forever to even get a kill.
Arfi died. Life, you raging Sandstorm now locked Nino down. Both the side laners of Alter Ego were caught lacking.
Uh-oh. They'll play as well. Alter Ego just trying to defend. All the holy defenses are popping. Lord is off the map at this point, but still Aurora Gaming are going to try to push in and take an inhibitor.
Whereas Yazuke is still up top now. Glorious Pathway going to be used up. The RWM actually does a little bit more damage over on Light, but now Alec actually is able to walk away, gets the stun, but it's Edward with the CC immunity of the Bravest Fighter as RP comes back to life and they'll be able to defend. Still though, they're stripped down to their base turrets in mid and bot.
And Light just locked in Radiant Armor. That means he can really hang out in the midst of this RWM. He can take even more damage. So we went from being a nice damage-dealing tank in the beginning game, and now he's just going to be able to absorb the damage. If he wants to pull off a crazy Raging Sandstorm, he has the ability to do that and get away safely. Sky Piercer has been in for UA. He's 4-2-2. The stacks, I'm sure, are starting to come in, and that means even more damage on the side of Aurora Gaming. We're not even talking about Edward. We're not even talking about Dome and Kite yet.
Now it comes back to how can they get farm? Because look at Aurora. They're trying their best to actually freeze out and to push in when they actually want to take away the green camps, right? Again, for Light, he's trying to catch these guys off guard. Arfi is holding that bush right now, but it actually might come back to bite him. Dome and Kite. Okay, he doesn't read into that bush. I thought, he would use the eye icon to maybe look for a play there. But yeah, Alter Ego. At this point, they've hit some power spikes. Arfi already on the 3-item.
Holy Trinity.
The Holy Trinity of attack speed items already. He's building towards a melting gun, interestingly enough, not straight to the Winter Crown. So he's expecting to just be free in the fights.
I mean, I think it's not a bad play at this point. Maybe just fully commit, right?
Last
Try to
cannon.
chip down onto Demon Kite. There's so much tank on the side of Aurora Gaming. And if he can play smart, it could be huge.
Yeah, really try to brute force into that position there, but it gets chunked. Edward zoning Yazuke away. Look at the Lord. He's getting chunked really low. Yazuke has no position to go for the contested. Demon Kite secures it for free as Edward whiffs the stun, but he doesn't need to land. Raging Sandstorm with the breaker now catches Nino. That's a pick up with the Lancer Flare, and Nino gets sent to the Sword of Edward.
At this point, Yasuke hasn't been able to try to take a single neutral objective. 3 turtles, 2 lords, and he hasn't even been able to walk into the pit because Aurora Gaming is waiting for him. And this is what the composition's able to do. Edward brings out the bravest fighter. Light brings out the Raging Sandstorm. They hold down this front line, and there's nothing these egos can do.
The Lord will charge into the mid lane. They're not even concerned about the mid lane right now. That's Alec thrown back in the bottom lane. Oh my goodness, a dive! RV with the BMI barely gets away in the Synchro Vision, but it will be guaranteed now. That is a free turret down below, and it is a base turret. For Alter Ego, it really comes down to defending the top side, just because it's the far lane. But still, Aurora will take whatever they can get. 2 base turrets with a Lord push, that's value, dude.
It might just look for a third here. Minions are coming down the bottom side. They can push on the top here. Alter Ego has to commit to 1.
Edward with Bravest Fighter now jumps onto Hijume. Yasuke dealing a lot of damage. Now as RP does the same. The Mount of Shocker goes wide as now it's going to be Light trying to run away. And he does. Glorious Pathway.
Domin Kite maybe looking for the possible re-engage along with Yue, but Roar are going to play it safe. They took 2 inhibitors. They can move on to the Lord next.
And look at how low that last turret is. Nino checking his bush. We'll spot Light out there. But the turret up top, man. If Aurora even just build a small slow push and they spotted this. Oh my goodness.
RP's going to try to lock on.
Thankfully, it's a Khalid, right? Like there's, you don't chase him easy. Oh man, the orange buff. Yue shining the light onto Yasuke. Zoning him away, the retry from Demon Kite to take it away from Yasuke, who still kill us this game.
Alter Ego have just been getting starved on stop. Purple buff going to go as well. Nino at least keeping vision, taking a look at the items. Taking a look at Yasuke. Just got Malefic Gun in. I mean, at this point, it is a rough position. It's a 7.7k golden. The thing about Aurora Gaming is they're okay with taking it slow right now. They have late game potential as well. There's not exactly a clock ticking for them in the general scheme of things.
There you go. Winter Crown actually built by Domeng quicker than the Claude. Again, you would expect the Winter Crown to be built up earlier for the Claude, just so that you can try to make those outplays happen, but it's Domeng. So now he has the survivability in the team fight. Even if you go for the all-in on him, say you poke him out, right? He still can pop Winter Crown. The rest of the team can then just peel all the other engagers off of him.
All right, so for Alter Ego here to make something happen, I think they need the big play, right? Nino needs to pull something off. But right now, Alter Ego approaching these fights split up might not be the answer.
Yep.
I know they can get caught by a big Raging Sandstorm and maybe it turns around on them, but they need to look for the big combo themselves if they want to try to put this into their hands.
Look at the wave up top. It's a slow push built by Aurora Gaming Philippines, and they go straight for the Lord so that Alter Ego won't have time to decide whether they want to actually deal with the slow push up top. Now they go on Edward, but he pops in Raven Spider, and the Lord gets reset. Masterful Lord dance by Aurora Gaming Philippines. That slow push. Remember how low the turret is up top. Just a few hits, and it's gone, and that's why you see Alter Ego desperate to look for a fight, to look for something. They want a commitment, but it's Roro! Right in the back line, finding it. Blazing doing with a Winter Crown, not doing any damage, and the Appraiser's Wrath as Domeng dives in.
Domeng able to find a kill, but Yue finds one as well. It's a double for Yue.
Nino with the flicker out. Now it's Demon Kite with the chase. It's just Hijume and Nino. There's a big cannon wave in the bottom lane crashing down onto Alter Ego's base. Domeng is ridiculous on the Harith. And that's Yue with a Sky Piercer stack, a mega kill, and a wipe out to secure match point.
Once again, it's blow for blow, back and forth. Aurora Gaming take the first, Alter Ego with the second, and now Aurora Gaming is back to help secure match point. Will it happen again, or will it end in the next match?
In Indonesia, it's the Filipinos who get to match point first against Alter Ego. Aurora looked ruthless. And now I understand the Harith pick. That was a confidence pick from Domeng Kite. I'm sure it was him telling the coach, give me my Harith. I will beat RP in lane. I will solo kill him. And when you need me, I will show up.
In this specific moment and in this very specific game, I will allow and support Ego. I believe that it was a conversation very similar to what you said, most likely in Tagalog, saying, Coach, let me have it. Let me have it. And for the majority of the game, we'll see it more in the highlights. I'm pretty sure they were all saying, Meng Tingin, just kill him. Just kill him.
And then cut to Demon Kai, just hands behind his head. I'll play whatever you want, coach. Anything. Give me anything. And he continues to perform. I mean, the way we see Aurora play this game, masterful, really. They gave no opportunities. They were making sure that Nino didn't have good angles. They were also making sure that Domeng, hey, he's already doing a great job. But notice that the Claw wasn't able to get any effective blazing duets, in a matter of fact. And the times that he did, okay, it's not that bad. But I do feel like the Winter Crown needed to show up a little bit earlier than the Malefic Gun. I think that's the only small thing that could have changed, but really, man, how do you even approach that when Yue is already controlling your front line, moving them around like Lego pieces?
I think this supports the theory we had going into the draft as to why they went for the Jushin first, is because they already saw the Eve. They were aware of what Hijime was capable of. Not to downplay how good this mid laner of Alter Ego is, but in that very specific situation, if Yue gets his hands on the ultimate utility mage in this current metagame, then the Eve's strengths are almost nullified.
The center of the map for Aurora, their objective taking was fantastic. But if Dominkai did not have the game that he had, then the value that they got at the time that they got it would have been much later in the game. But since Dominkai straight up defeated RV in lane 4-0-6, perfect Harith game, despite going up against a lineup that has an Eve, you gotta give it to Dominkai, man.
Yeah, it's not like they set up for him as well. It's not like they put RP in a position where he has to take Purify. He had the flicker to run away. They just made sure that he used that one resource and said, hey, Domeng, he's all yours. Do whatever you want with him. And he finds these kills consistently because he has access to this one battle spell that most marksmen are forced off of in these type of positions where they have to hyper carry.
And this is because of the built-in resilience Harith has. Even without the Zaman Force, you put him in his own ult, then you can forget about pinning him down. This white-haired, little hyperactive Leonin boy will have his way with you. And now I understand. Again, Aurora are one of the few teams to not only serve up the first couple of losses to Alter Ego in all of M7, but also they're one of the few teams that take the Ubis trap, quote-unquote, this far into this metagame.
Yeah, what I appreciate about Aurora Gaming's drafting decisions in game number 3 was, yes, you did get to see more Ego, not just through the Harith, but then now we even see the value of the Khalid paired up with the Jushin and Fredrin. I think we were looking at the Khalid a little bit too much in the tunnel vision of just the hero alone, but then we forgot the elements around it. The inescapable threat of every Jushin is that at one point, it will peel the Sky Piercer, which means that everything that the Kali does will end up being rewarded. Even if it's a trade, it's going to be a kill for the Jushin and the stack. At the same time, even if you fall down, bro, Demon Guy took so much damage in this game and survived. He only had one death. The team fighting of Aurora was so disruptive to what Alter Ego wanted to do that now I understand the beauty of the Jushin, Khalid, Harith, and then closing it out with a Fredrin. They were blocking the aggression of Alter Ego.
And they're doing it at basically tax-free, right? Because Khalid is one of the few heroes who actually has self-sustain with Quicksand Guard. So even if he's getting beaten up, okay, I'll just sit in the bush for a little bit, wait a couple more seconds, do it again, and I'm back to full.
And what I was afraid of, that would bite them in the behind, getting that Khalid early on, didn't even really matter. Again, you mentioned, this is dangerous grass. You go in, and you use the Quicksand Guard there. You give Alter Ego something to think about, something to hunt down, and that, in my opinion, is the tax that Aurora put on Alter Ego. The fact that they have to think about so many different aspects while hunting down the Harith slowed down their Alter Ego aggression.
Now, if we learn anything from game number 2, we noticed that the brass tax was too high. Coming into game number 3, I think this is one way to kind of opt in, bypass that tax in the first place, right? With this Khalid, hey, Yue, do you need help in the laning phase? This should technically be the hardest laning phase for you. What do we focus on? Clear the wave. Yue, if you harass, you make sure that you don't take any damage. I will absorb it for you, and now we're redistributing it onto the right targets, which is why Hijime wasn't able to hit the power spikes on time and never felt comfortable enough like he was in game 1 and 2.
let's continue the theme here of the M7 World Championship about looking at the mid trios. Ijume lacking that timing for the power spike. Let's look at Light. He started off this game with a death. A very quick one at that. In most cases, you'd think, oh no, Aurora's not going to be able to be aggressive and actually take it to the jungle of Alter Ego. But that wasn't true. Light said, all right, I'm going to still go out into their jungle and still get vision. They're not going to stop me. And then now, Yue, since he didn't die in that initial trade, he's actually still safe. My mid laner is fine. And that's going to be the trade I'm going to be looking at. Yes, they might take me down, bring me down low, but can they finish me off eventually? It eventually became no, because Yue was slowly taking away the members of Alter Ego. Then add to the fact that Demon Cat's going to suddenly show up, suddenly become an unkillable presence in front of Alter Ego. Difficult to deal with.
But that's the thing, right? As much as Yue was able to do all of these things, that's where it really saddens me when Nino, he goes into his damage form, right? He goes into that Lightning Thunder form, and he's not utilizing it 100%, right? There are times where you don't need the CC immunity when you're running away. Just turn into the Lightning Form and get those iframes to actually close the distance, if not create more distance against your opponent. But I was hoping to see Nino trade his life more to force Yue to ult early on. If he could do that a couple more times, I think this game would have looked a lot differently.
I'm worried about how this will dictate the game, well, mostly by the draft going into Game 4. Because now we see that even against one of the strongest teams in M7, Alter Ego, Aurora can play on a spectrum of different kind of lineups. You know what I mean? Like, they don't have to play fighter side lane anymore. They can play Harris side lane. They can play Ube utility style. And who knows? Maybe now it's Alter Ego who has an identity crisis. Maybe having so many masks is now being a struggle for them. Because, look, we played multi-core here. And I'm the economy guy. And I'm looking at this now. It's like, that's one of the reasons why they couldn't fight back, is because they were too busy getting farm on both Yasuke and on Arfi, which is, again, a non-starter. How do you even begin?
All right, Jerome Powell, I'll tell you how they needed it to begin. Really, it just boiled down to whether or not Hylos is able to find that initial glorious pathway. Because there were a couple that were really good at cutting them off, but nobody's in position to take advantage of the scenario. So at that point, I think that Alter Ego, from game number 1, didn't want to play a traditional style against Rora of all people.
The way it sounds like is, for Alter Ego, the way this could have worked is if they won the lane, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's not going to work. Sometimes you have to understand that we have to give up the lane. And if you can't play that long game, then you're in trouble.
Well, great points here on the panel, and I'm pretty sure that's going to tell a better story once we head into the draft for game number 4. But it's time now to remind you that Patrick skin. I was about to say something there, but they completely, it was slipped out of my mind. The Clue Patrick skin is also available in-game now. Don't miss it. It is the hottest hit of the it's not the summer. What do you call January? It's not part of summer yet.
Of the new year.
Of the new year.
Of the new year.
The hottest movie of the new year is Glue Patrick Skin. As previously seen and shown off by Patrick of the Nuya of Team Liquid Philippines and his performance on that glue, and multiple other glue performances that we've seen here in the M7 World Championship and in previous tournaments. It is, and I will die on this hill, the best skin we've ever made in game.
It's such a good skin that honestly, I think they needed to start porting it into the other things that Moonton has already produced at this point, right? I mean, it could go in the Instagram, but I think personally that maybe Magic Chess Go-Go.
How about a synergy for just SpongeBob and Patrick in Magic Chess Go-Go? I know that that's a long shot, but what you can do now, though, is go in starting February 8th. No, rather, until February 8th. Now to February 8th, you can reach level 45 in the Go One Pass to unlock Yuzhong, Emerald Dragon for free. Purchase the Go One Pass to instantly unlock Yuzhong's Go One skin, Dragon Shade, that's what I'm using now, and reach level 75 to unlock Yuzhong's Prime Skin, Cosmic Dragon. I'm far off from that, but if I may say, I am my neighborhood's number 6 Yuzhong.
Ooh, that's great for you. And I like how Yuzhong did actually shake up the meta a little bit in MCGG. And hey, that whole SpongeBob Patrick thing that we're wishing for might not be far off. I mean, KOF eventually made it to MCGG. So what if,
right? Like, SpongeBob and Patrick can be like Iori and K? Yes.
Yeah.
They can be like two different skins, and they have synergies.
Yeah, the Chevalier one.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a good one. What would we? I mean, I can't be giving away these $1 million ideas for free, of course, but you guys can. Just make sure, get the pass while you still can, and also get the 3 skins starting from 360 diamonds. Value. Being said, though, actually, I feel like I don't think we're ever going to see glue in this matchup. Like, Nino has so far shown Sora, Yuzong, it's all damage dealers, and yes, obviously a setter in Sora, but he's kind of both, right?
Yeah. I think, especially now with the little break that we had heading into the second day of the knockouts, the teams have adapted and respected the idea of the instant gratification, that you get impact right away, that it is not too complicated for you and your team to get the wins, to lower down their health, force out resources. You want it instantly.
Yeah, so I think you have to revert to a time mode saying of KISS, K-I-S-S. Keep it simple, Sayang. That's localized.
That or get into drop shipping. I don't know, something. They need to find that instant value and instant money straight away. So that's why I'm concerned, because so far it's been an entire battle of looking for those leads for 3 games straight.
So as we head into game number 4, let's revisit the team head-to-head to maybe help contextualize the stats and what to expect between these two. Edward and Nino, I feel like, wow, I was just about to say it's a closer matchup than we expect, but it is actually a close matchup between the two EXP laners. For Hijime and Yue, I think their picks, as important as they are, more important, I feel like, is what ends up in the hands of Alec and Light, respectively.
Yeah, right? It feels like as much as we are looking at the pinnacles of like, yeah, these are the outlets, the connectors, the wires to make this motherboard work is so much more important.
So these two teams have to invest more in the setup, not the payoff. The payoff is almost guaranteed. If you want to see Yasuke or Arfi go ham, they will. You want to see Demon Kite or Domen Kite do their thing, they will. But you got to make sure that they have a platform to do that on.
Yeah, that's that simple setup. Nothing too high concept, nothing that demands way too many layering.
Or things that shoot off in way too many different directions.
Exactly. And that's what, when you look back at the lineup of Aurora Gaming in game number 3, yes, the highlight of Domigai being able to do that as a solo player. If you look back at the rest of the team, it's actually not a difficult lineup to pull off. As the Fredrin, come on, we all know what Fredrin has done for ever since his inception into as the premier jungler pick, eventually fell off. But then when it does come up, we're just reminded of why it was a monster for a long time. He can stand there, take damage, and still bring value.
Yeah, which is why I was like, why didn't they pick it up on Red 4, right? They had the opportunity to do it on Red 4 or even Red 3, and they decided not to and give it over to Aurora. We look at the fans' predictions so far, and I mean, Aurora PH is coming up with 74%.
I personally predicted Aurora PH. But I also expected Aurora Alter Ego to put up a fight. Now, if they're going to put up more of a fight, take us all the way, that's on them now going into game 4.
What if now, for the Alter Ego picks of game number 3, with Claude, Eve, Sora, Hylos, Season, Shin, makes sense, right? That is something that is Aztrex put together in the cast, that it's very reflective of what happened in Swiss, what happened in our wildcard as well. But what if it wasn't Gila enough? What if it wasn't crazy enough? It wasn't Alter Ego enough?
How Alter Ego are we talking about here?
And how Alter Ego do you suggest we go?
Yeah. If this were a 5, how much more?
I feel like Yasuke and Isan Shin doesn't scream Alter Ego to me. I need something more explosive.
So,
Yasuke's hand.
in the realm of keep it simple and instant gratification, you want more on the spectrum of instant gratification.
Yeah.
Where is the Hayabusa and Lancelot today?
Or even a Hellcurt or something like that. I mean, if we're talking about instant value, right? That's a little dealer.
That's Giller Bangit.
Yes, very much so. I think that's the problem, right? Because if we're going based on the trend of how these games are going, I think that Aurora is just going to keep on escalating unless this is the winning formula. We found it. We're just going to keep on reproducing.
Yeah, and that's something the Alter Ego needs to watch out for, because that is a drafting tendency of coaches Master of the Basics and Deckstar, is that once they pinpoint that weakness and that little pattern that they can lean into because they realize, hey, there's not a lot of counters to it, they will lean hard on that and then eventually ride away with the win. But Alter Ego is a team that has been known for shattering expectations. That just when you think you have them down, they suddenly come up with a drafting pattern that even shakes up their opponent's expectations of them.
If I may, I'm sure there's a lot of fans from all around the world watching. fans from the Philippines specifically, I'm gonna tip my hat over to the Cavalry. I'm pretty sure whatever they played in Game 3 is a nod to the Liquid Stampede. Look at that lineup. You'll see a good DNA of it is what beat Aurora in the grand finals of FPL Philippines. You know what I mean? Like there's a Fredrin, there is a Zushin, and then you have this hard carry in the gold lane. It is very reminiscent of what their rivals from FPL PH would do.
Actually, okay, now I'm reminded as to why I felt there was something a bit different with seeing this Fredrin play. We're used to seeing Frautesi play the Fredrin a little bit more, and he plays it like he's also the roamer while he's jungling. Because this time it was paired up with the Khalid, he didn't need to do that as much, so Demon Kai could just hang back. But during the times where he did show up, since he was relatively undisturbed in the jungle, it's reminded of us of like, oh yeah, he is still a pseudo roamer that's difficult to take down.
And the entire time, especially when you're playing like a hyper scaling style of jungler like Ishin Shin, just going even against him is already a big up because he clears way faster than you in many different scenarios. Even if he's down a level, as long as they're maintaining that gold, Ishin Shin will eventually outscale you. However, catching people, right? The timings of which Demon Kai gets in there, he suddenly lays the blanket and says, no, I am the Flood, you stay right where you are.
As our voices fade out of Tennis Indoor, as the Indonesian broadcast ushers us in, well, you can still hear us in the global streams that we have all around the world as we go into Broken Walls for game number 4. And no surprise, Aurora still take out that Grok, and the Paksha is still not being given at all. This time, they also take out the Fredrin.
They want something a little bit more punishable in the jungle. I think they always like going for that Sora, no matter what. And I think Aurora are completely fine with it. They're like, whatever. As long as you don't have anything that forces out our battle spells, Sora is very manageable.
And it's not even a matter of can we counter it with Valentina anymore. It's literally just, okay, Nino, go ahead, make our day. And that changes our expectations. I remember going into this match, we were talking about things to watch out for. We mentioned Sora. Apparently for Aurora, it really doesn't matter. It's just another hero.
Stuck under the punch. It's not that hard, some may say. But I think the Aurora here, let's see what that one slight adaptation, right?
They got about the Zushin.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it as well. Are they willing to give Eve? I feel like you might as well leave both open at that point.
That's true. Give the onus over to Coach Sepher. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So what would we ban?
The thing is, if Eve is given here, and let's say Alter Ego picks up Eve after Aurora bans out the Juice in, Yuzhong's gonna go to Aurora. But then Alter Ego will just respond with the Uranus early on because that's usually the responses that we've seen now recently. So they go for the Freya. They'll open up both.
Yes, both. That's what we're saying.
All right, what do they want? What do they want, AE? There's so much to go around, man.
Oh, there it is. So now we see how Aurora performs when the table is on the other foot.
Yeah.
Claude Eve, right?
Well, they don't need to rush the Eve because they already see the Jushin on the other side.
Also true.
I want to see Aurora surprise us and show their version of Leomord.
Oh, really? Ooh.
Even though I would have seen that, I would have liked to see that more if it was an Eve first pick.
Like double horse tech sort of thing, plus the Eve?
Yeah. If they go double horse, maybe, but there it is! It's the Leomord, and as you called it, the Claude.
Good call, good call.
What is going on with the metagame? In Swiss, midway through, I'm like, yo, Leomord is not metagame. He needs so much setup. And now he's first phase worthy.
He's good at punching people when they're low, right? And that's exactly what you need compared to Ishin Shin, where it's like, man, I got to do all these cool little tricks to get maximum damage while this guy's just punching me in the face. Oh! And the counter pick steal as well.
The crowd goes wild. Joe would have been perfect for Aurora, but Alter Ego block it. Fanny falls in the hands of Yasuke. Mr. Hoyt is somewhere smiling right now.
How can they deal with this now? Badang? Kalia's already gone.
I like that you brought up Badang because my mind was already jumping to Kufra.
Yeah. Worst comes to worst, right? I mean, they've got to get the Eve.
I actually do not mind the Kufra.
Yeah.
That's two birds with one stone again. There's a Cho.
The thing is, okay, the Kufra, you gotta make the most out of your Tyrant's Revenge because it's so highly punishable by the Juicin.
Oh no, you're done with the bouncing ball? Instantly steal cables out.
Let me bounce you out.
Yeah. Got no more lockdown. They go for the far side. Very brave choice. But I think it ended up, because with the heal, I assume Alter Ego will also still ban the Khalid again.
Yeah, they needed this Farsa because short and sweet, right? Instant gratification. If it was the Eve, you're not sure if the Leomord can clean house. So they need the Farsa, better mobility, better support for Leomord to clean up. But what do they do to respond to the Fanny? Is it a legit option to not care?
I think it's just about trying to control the Fanny at this point, right? You've already got your first 3 picks locked in.
That's your damage. That's all the damage you need.
Yeah, that's all the damage you need. Now the question is, how do we get an EXP laner who's able to kind of mess with the Fanny in her jungle, most importantly? If we can steal away the purple buff, that would be the most ideal option, but he still hasn't even locked in what's going into the gold lane.
The last time we saw Yasuke play this Fanny was in Game 2 against Onyx ID. He got MVP. He went 12-2-2. Aurora better be damn prepared for this Fanny. Because Yasuke, despite him being a rookie in the last FPL ID season, is not afraid to play this. The Gacha gets taken out. I thought they lead more towards the Badang band.
Very rare that Master of the Basics, Coach Dexter, Khalad let things slip through.
Yes.
So with this Fanny, I'm like,
Are they just gonna double horse it?
They might double horse it, but I think the Gato ban is mainly so that AE ensures that the mid lane is somewhat contestable, and I think that's going to be a difficult match, right? Because you're expecting Light to get decent damage on towards, some decent damage at least towards Hijume's side, but now that you have like both Jushin alongside with the troll, there's so many moments where a 2v1 scenario is a guaranteed flicker.
Arlott ban. So they're trying to take away the best surprise set of heroes here for Nino. Ooh. The Uranus is still a good option for Alter Ego, not gonna lie, despite there being the presence of the clock. Oh, that's a good read. Take out the chip.
that's a good way to kind of just surprise the Fanny out of the sky.
What if? Oh, no, that's gonna be tough if they go for like something like a Kaja or a Franco.
The Kaja, Franco, Kufa are all in the same little bucket.
Yeah.
Like, break glass in case of emergency.
Yeah. And also because I'm always thinking about the juice in there, which is why Kufa is sort of like an off pick, even Franco. Kaja are on off pick, which is why the safest is just either Badang or go for the high lows and go double horsies.
Question: How good is Arfi on Sora? How good is Arfi on Sora? Because I mean, you still can go for like Sora, Yu Zhong at this point, and you have entire access to the back line.
Oh, all that dive is not going to be good for their health. Yes.
I mean, got the high loss at least, double horse tag.
Yeah.
This is a revitalized Hylos.
The champion spirit alone reigns supreme.
What? What was that pick?
Granger carry. Oh, yeah, Granger, and then
it's in the XP.
Either Uranus or Nino. That we mentioned. Yu Zhong.
Nino's got to clutch this.
I think he's going to play Yu Zhong,
it's
right?
Either aggression or something to hold down the formation.
Yeah. And this is a tough choice. What would I prefer? Sora or Yu Zhong in this particular section? Or do I just like sandbag the lane?
Lapu's open too.
So many good options.
I have long awaited.
Yep, there you go.
Lapu.
Are you signaling Benedetta? No, Lapu. It's a safer pick. It's right in the middle of the Yu Zhong and whatever the hell else what was the other? Uranus. This is the middle ground.
Is this now time for Edward to show off? It's my turn to play Sora?
Maybe. Well, the Esmeralda's still open.
It is.
It is his time to show off.
This is going to be quite a game. We've seen the small adaptations throughout the entirety of the draft. Everybody has a rough idea of what they want to do and what they're most comfortable at doing. And now that it is kind of surmounted at this point, the last changes are going to come down for these players. But the game plan, where are we headed to? Do we start purple straight away, or do we opt to go right into a full clear?
This is Edward's second game on the Sora. I played it on the 15th of January against Team Spirit and won.
Here's with the stats. Early to mid game for Alter Ego looks really good. The mid to the late game potential is where it falls for Aurora. Broken walls again. Game number 4. Will we go to another game number 5? Or will the Northern Lights fly into the upper bracket finals to meet Selangor Red Giants? They lead 2-1. The Alter Champs going wild for their hometown heroes. And now it's time to go wild for Trex and Mirko.
What's up, guys? Trex, Mirko still here, bringing you in this in-game action. You know, Aurora Gaming brought us to match point, Mirko, but if there was a draft that could tie things up, I feel like this is it for Alter Ego.
Absolutely. Alter Ego got a lot of the things that they wanted in the draft here. They went for the trades here and there, and honestly think, hey, it's a perfect setup for Yazuke on a Fanny. So far, I believe it's still at 100% win rate, and I literally just scrolled on TikTok earlier to find Yazuke with a Chad jaw. It's a kind of a meme, you know, the Sigma male meme. Life's gonna be taken down by Yazuke on the Fanny. And the caption says, me when I get Fanny. So that's perfect right there as he gets first blood.
Beautiful timing, and you know, the panel was worried about the Farza. They were worried about the draft of Aurora PH in the first half. And it's true, how do they deal with this Fanny? And my guess was, we try to steal buffs, we try to get aggressive, but they're already falling behind on that. And if they let Alter Ego just continue this type of momentum, it doesn't really seem like there's a chance.
And again, RP is back on the Granger. A lot of people will probably say, you know, the Granger is horrible against the Claude, which I agree. In normal cases, it is. But if you're good at the Granger, every matchup works. All you need to do is stay level against your opponent. Don't get too crazy with it. And then later, as your team wins, you start getting those Sky Piercer stacks. I think that's exactly the route that RP is going to take. In this game particularly, I think for the most part, Swiss stage as well, we've been seeing more purified Grangers, right? This is finally a Flicker Granger, so he's expecting not to be the threat. He's expecting to be the Shadow Striker.
Exactly. The thing is, Aurora Gaming has their hands full with the Fanny already. They have something else that they have to deal with. For me, the Granger just kind of feels like insurance for mid to late game, some possibilities. If Yazuke is able to distract them and keep all eyes on him, then Arfi can just kind of farm for free. Arfi can get to that point where he has the opportunity to pop off as well. On the side of Aurora Gaming, though, I think a lot of this is going to come down on Light holding the front line, along with Edward getting these stuns, you know, putting the stiff arm out against Yazuke.
Again, RP doing a really good job in the lane. Feathered Airstrike instant. Crimson Beacon. Hijime will not allow himself to get poked, but then he walks back in range to get poked. Shadow Stab Beacon coming down as Nino's going to be fully stunned up, and he can't use the second part of it. Yazuke coming in with the cables, doing a lot of damage over, and he gets locked down. He gets Demon Cat, but he falls, and Edward
gets the double, looking for a triple. Yue going to back off. Turtle still up, though. Alter Ego is starting to fall down. They might get a kill on the Light here, though.
And they will. It's Alec who picks up the kill, and we are back to 3-2. A big fight, and honestly, with how Alter Ego were in that position, with how they were holding that position, I feel like that was an Aurora win.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely felt like it. I think it still could come down to who gets this turtle in the end. We're sitting at almost, we're past the 3-minute mark, and it's still first turtle on the map. Both teams trying to recuperate. And I got a feeling we're going to see another big fight coming up.
No purple buff on the Fanny, though. That's going to be big. Aurora Gaming Philippines have that hold. And this is where the Fanny starts to lose steam. When you get killed when you have a purple buff, or when your purple buff gets stolen, now you have to be very, very clean with it. Alec with the G-Kuno, the way the dragon lock him down. Nino goes in for the stun as well as Yazuke gets stopped by Light. That's Demon Kite getting away as the Crimson Beacon gets used by Hijime earlier to escape, but he's so low.
And Nino got the bravest fighter. Edward dives in.
Goes into the back. Oh, gets rid of Hijime. Goes to the skies now, but Nino's still there. Oh my goodness, that damage. Still pushing on the damage over on towards Nino. Turtle coming out for free as Yazuke goes and secures the purple buff. But Aurora, now they have the lead.
Blade of Hephaestus does lock in for Yazuke, but all that work just to make sure you get a purple buff. And Aurora Gaming, and this is the pressure that we wanted to see. Oh, Alec, trouble.
Goes for the way the dragon is able to find an angle now. Yazuke with the cables. Went through Demon Kite, but the Revitalize, it's just too much healing for him to deal with. Blazing Duet with the BMI RP. Spaces perfectly, doesn't panic, and Domeng has the back.
Okay, so we're starting to get some creep up for Aurora Gaming PH. We're seeing the positive uses of this Hylos getting the heal for the team, making it hard for Yazuke to get the finishes. And at this point, Alter Ego, do they continue to hit the gas? Do they start to look for little pickoffs? It's a tough spot. Once you get pushed back like that, you lose a turtle, you take some deaths. Now we're kind of having to regroup. Luckily, the gold lead isn't crazy. Luckily, I still feel like it's a pretty tie game, and the opportunity is there for both teams. Taking a look at the items, Dreadnought does lock in for Edward, but now he's going to move into a little bit of damage, so kind of a hybrid build in that EXP lane.
Yeah, I think to answer your question, take it slow. Yes, it gets really frustrating when you have this kind of composition and you don't get the early lead, despite getting first blood, but you still have pretty good mid game, right? You are going to be hitting those power spikes. Granger is on the way to the Sky Piercer, so RP, Hunter Strike straight to the Sky Piercer, second item, wanting to have a little bit more pressure in lane. The Hunter Strike obviously gets him a bit more safety in the team fights as well, getting more attack speed as whenever you get the fourth hit in.
All right, so Alter Ego, you know, you talked about them waiting, and I do feel like the Fanny, everyone always puts it in the bag of, oh, you have to pop off early. But it's surprising how much damage a Fanny can still do in the mid game, the 8 to 9 to 10 minute mark. And here he comes!
To see with a cut through, Yasuke gets the kill, but it's going to be traded back as Demon Kite and Light take him down. Pops in to revitalize as well. Now it's going to be Alec link with Jiku. No! Crimson Beacon on the way to Dragon out with the Lantern Flare picking him up. It's going to be the last shot from RP to take him out. And Light now is all alone. Is a Bravest Fighter stun landing on Light. It's a turret jungle from Alec. RP gets a double right as he buys Sky Piercer.
Did he get the Sky Piercer in time? I know, yes, he did. So 2 stacks into it already, and that's what we were talking about with RP, the possibilities that even if Yasuke falls, he can pick the pieces up.
And it's a retry used on purple when the turtle is up. You know what Alter Ego want to look for. It's not objectives. It is brutal team fights that they want to go for. Chaotic as ever. This is the Alter Ego we got to see in the playoffs of MPL Indonesia.
So Aurora Gaming approaching these fights from here on, they need to know we can't use the whole package on just Yasuke. We need to save something for RP. We need to make sure that we can deal with Hijume as well. Alter Ego, to deal with that, need to kind of layer these fights, need to come in at different timings, and that's what they did in the last one to win things out.
That was good bait earlier there. Glorious Pathway coming down as well. Phantom Speed not used yet, but Edward had to back away. The airstrike coming down now. Trying to poke him down. Nino's going to be chunked by Edward. He goes in onto Hijume now, but he's able to flick around. But that's a lot of damage from Edward. Now it's Nino with Bravest Fighter.
And a Phantom Steed able to shred through. Can they get it? RP with the shutdown.
Alec getting the way the Dragon peeling for the team. And now it's Yasuke cutting the horse down as the turtle will be next on the chopping block. Light walking up, but it's Yasuke who takes the turtle as Domeng gets a trade in the mid lane with a turret.
RP 4-0-3 already. We're entering the danger zone for Alter Ego. And look at the top side as well. Nino pushing in. Alter Ego taking a full spread approach to the map right now. Malefic Gun locks in for RP as well. The damage is online.
Drex, Alec was a lifesaver in that fight. They went all in. Now Alec's going to go for the Jikudo again. Right as the turret spawns, with the Dragon locking the boy down. Blazing duet of the BMI, but Yasuke comes in! Under the turret, gets the cables to get away!
And Edward is trying, but it's just not enough. Alec goes down. Edward does find the kill, but he's going to pay the price.
Nino with the Bravest Spider straight into RP, going unstoppable, picking up the rapid boots, and Alter Ego again. They do not care for objectives. They do not care for structures. What they want is to brawl, and Aurora Gaming Philippines are giving it to him. Yasuke!
He's a monster. Under the tower, 1v1, jungler versus jungler. At this point, Aurora Gaming is trying to fight back. They're looking for little moments, but I think they need to go on the defense. They were able to catch them off guard in the early game, but now the power spikes are here. They need to look for more responsive plays instead of meeting Alter Ego Esports head on. Taking a look at the items. We're still waiting on that Holy Trinity from Domeng Kite. We're still waiting on a second item for Yue. The damage dealers just don't have the damage yet. And a Leomord is normally something that can help control the early game. And since he has died as well, Aurora Gaming is stuck playing catch up. Lord's going to be coming up in just a few seconds. And in my mind, I don't think Aurora Gaming should try to force the fight on it.
I agree. I think they have proper amounts of wave clear to deal with the Lord. But having said that, though, are we really sure? Because all they need to do is bait out one stun. Now they're going to go in on the turret. Oh, but damage over the domain cap. Edward jumps into the back line. Nino going to be able to take the turret. But like again, he's able to find the way to Dragon as RV gets peeled. And now he goes for the monster kill. The Phantom Steed used by Demon Kite. And now Alter Ego will go straight for the Lord.
Edward has to hit the brakes. He has to calm down. This is what I meant. Aurora Gaming, yes, I know they weren't trying to force a fight, but they could have just walked away from that engage from Alter Ego. Even if they lose the tier 3 in the mid, it would have been better than what happened now.
I said this when I was casting MPL ID, but it just felt like every time Alter Ego played, it was so messy. And it wasn't just them, it was their opponents too. You know, goes for the stun, BMI away from Domeng. And to finish the point earlier, Alter Ego just have a way to force their opponents to play a messy game. I don't know what it is.
They bring the worst out of other people.
They bring the worst out of other people, and that's what you're seeing. Aurora Gaming, this isn't the thing you would see from them usually, especially the form that we saw them using to beat TLPH. They were clean. They knew when to take the risks. Domeng had to be MI out. That's a free tier 2.
And Lord hasn't even gotten to the base yet. They're going to be able to make some holy defenses pop in the mid side as Lord creeps down the bottom. You know, we said it, Aurora Gaming has the ability to defend. They do have things like the
Feathered Airstrike.
They have the Feathered Airstrike. They have the clear. They have the shred with Domeng Kite. They don't need to force anything.
The thing is, though, they kind of do, because when Nino's up in front of you like that, you have to do something, and it's a Feathered Airstrike that you have to pull out. It's sometimes even the Blazy Duet for Domeng to try to shoo these guys away, but once you use those resources onto the frontliners, onto these guys who are constantly up in your face, Yazuke walks up, or rather, he flies in.
I gotta say, though, losing one inhibitor still feels kind of like not a too bad of a loss of what could have happened.
Absolutely.
But Aurora Gaming, don't go out there. They need to stay put. This is exactly what Alter Ego wants at this point. So let's look at the stacks, 60 stacks on the Sky Piercer. Level 14, Arfi is just a pick artist at this point.
Feathered Airstrike coming down, but look at Yazuke. Lead with the cables, trying to feint, trying to waste some of the resources, but Aurora did not bite.
Okay, so Alter Ego still playing it slow, but they're trying to bring the worst out of Aurora Gaming right now. They're kind of playing the outside rims of the base, hoping that somebody bites the bait. It's going to be 55 seconds till Lord. Does Alter Ego go for the stall in the lanes, or do they just keep on pushing in here?
I think they go for the stall. They can't afford to give Aurora Gaming Philippines enough resources for their comp to finally work, because, yes, you do have a Fanny. It's going to be very, very troublesome for Yue, for Domeng to actually get into the good positions in team fights, but still, you don't want them to get their item power spikes, because then it relies on you not making a single mistake on a Fanny in the late game, which is way easier said than done, brother.
You know, I got to say as well, Edward, earlier on, when he made that big play that he paid the price for, you still saw the damage from, you saw the capabilities. So, as you said, when those item spikes do come in, if Aurora Gaming is able to do something like that, when they can actually get kills into the back line, it could be detrimental to how they win this game if they can turn things around here. So, Alter Ego, 3 seconds for Lord, looking for position. Look at the top side, Nino. Looking for either a possible gank or a push onto this top tower while the rest of his team secures the Lord.
That was also the position he was holding in game number 2 on the Sora when the team was leading. That ultimately was a throw from Nino. But this time, Aurora do not show their faces up top. Maybe actually just Domeng. Nino gonna be chased down. The Lord already taken by Yazuke. And that's it for Domeng. He goes back to the BMI, and now another siege. Every time you see him with the cables, man, you just don't know. Red tree. But this time it is Demon Kite who's the one who secures the orange buff.
Arfi with the range right now. Taking a look at the items. Arfi is maxed out at this point. Yazuke looking for a 6. He does pick up the brute force breastplate for a little bit of defense there. A 2,000 gold lead over Demon Kite. And Yue, I think that's been the major problem right now for Aurora Gaming. He's got 2 items in right now.
And it's not going to be looking good right now as they crash into the base. Nino looking for the angle now with the Bravest Spider as well. That's going to be light knocked up. That's Yazuke! In the back of the cutthroat finding the Forza. That's a shutdown though as Leomore gets the pick up. Edward.
Domeng Kite as well. trying to get some free shots with the Blazing Duet.
With a nature from RB. Now he goes for the gun down on Demon Kite. It's another shot into the midst of it all as Demon Kite's able to space away. A double for Demon Kite. Lord cleared up. Nino holding the fort. But Aurora somehow defend.
Not somehow. They do it well. They do it cleanly. Yes, Yasuke gets the kill, but they quickly take him off the map. Arfi hangs out a little bit too long, gets chipped down low, is forced to leave the base, and then the beautiful Blazing Duet to push them away as well from Domain Kite. Aurora Gaming, I don't think there was a better way they could have defended that.
And now, it's the big question mark to Alter Ego. You have the stacks, you have the lead, you have 3 base turrets. Do you still want to brawl? Because this is finally a comfortable spot for Aurora to be like, yeah, we want to do what we've been doing all throughout this game, but this time it should benefit us. You shouldn't be brawling. We should. Glorious Pathway to Shadow Stampede. That's RB caught.
That's huge. In the backside, though, Yue goes down.
Nijume still kiting away now, popping in the Lantern Flare as Alex is able to escape with the Helmet Immortality. Somehow Yasuke buys the Rose Gold and escapes, but Nino is all alone. Can he survive this? That's going to be so much damage from Domain Kite on him, and Nino will fall to light.
And Yasuke is nowhere to be found. He had to go back to base. Aurora Gaming, though, they don't push anymore. They're going to go back to their own base. They're going to defend. We got 2 members. We got the winning number on that last fight.
They want more. Alex, wait. Purify out from Domain. Now the body. Yasuke goes in, but with a nature. Perfectly timed. No panic from Domain. Ice cold.
There's no waiting in the land of Dawn. There's no pausing. At this point, Aurora Gaming has checked the boxes. They found their timing, and they're the ones who want to brawl. They're the ones who are forcing the fight because they know, listen, we have no inhibitors. We have nothing to defend.
Exactly.
We have to try to force a fight and get this next Lord.
And this is the adaptation, the improvement that we've seen from Aurora Gaming Philippines. What we've criticized them in the past for, being too systematic, being too safe, now they pull the trigger when it matters.
It's only the last Lord that matters. One Lord to rule them all.
Now the cable's coming in now as Demon Kite is able to get on the horse. Shizuke will lose that rapid refusion. Demon Kite and then Domain with the Blazing Duet in the back, a little bit of crowd as well. That's him down. Alex taken out. It's going to be RP next to Paul and Hijume.
Edward's trying to do something here. He's able to get some final damage. Nino wants to get away. It's him and Yasuke against the world, but he can't survive.
Yue takes him out, and now it's just 1. They got a big Lord in the mid lane crashing down. Wave in the bottom and top lane pushing towards Aurora. Yasuke, can he do it?
That's a hard bill to sign. Yasuke against 4.
Let's see it. Yasuke with the cables constantly down. The Glorious Pathway will slow him out as that's going to be Yasuke sucked up. And it's Domain who kills Yasuke. Aurora Gaming Philippines secure top 3.
Just when Alter Ego thought they had it, once again, the Philippines shut them down. Aurora Gaming shows so many faces of style there, from patience to aggression. They've got the full book right now, and this is what we wanted to see them. Can they match the chaos? Can they match the patience? Can they hold out to the late game or take it in the early game? And I feel like in that best of 5, we saw all of those things checked off. This is a team, in my eyes, that can go the distance.
The answer is yes. We got our answer, and Aurora Gaming Philippines. They beat TLPH in the play-ins of knockouts. Now they beat Alter Ego. Next up, it's the Selangor Red Giants, who are already waiting in the upper brackets after a clutch victory against Aurora Gaming Turkey and their brothers.
What a series overall. What a night overall. Aurora Gaming, a team that so many people felt like, could they make it this far? Could they get to top 8 at this point? They've secured top 3 at a minimum. And whether they win or lose tomorrow, whoever ends up facing them, there was a lot to say. Let's throw it over to the panel, though. How we doing, guys?
Predictions were right. Did you predict this?
Yeah. I'm trying to temper my celebration here just a little bit because now I hear my voice in the arena. But Aurora Gaming Philippines secures that upper bracket final slot.
Man, what a day this has been. I think this has been the most intense days in terms of technical microplays all across the board. But my God, if Edward does not get the MVP by the end of this, I'ma talk to some people. I'ma use my brownie points with the big man in the sky.
Whoa, really?
Mm-hmm.
Edward, I think, especially in the last two games, it's Domenkite coming of age. It's Domenkite proving that he's more than the gold laner that he was in Malaysia, then in M6. Because his Harith and back-to-back with his Claude is what got them this dub.
Aurora holding on for as long as they did with all of the threats that Alter Ego had. Yes, it is a well-deserved, if ever it is going to be an MVP awarding for Domenkite. Because there's so much pressure on that Claude, man. Yasuke was cabling left and right. But then we go back to the simple idea of you pick up the high loss when you see a Fanny. Just a quick little stun, and that buys you time. And then when Aurora find that time, Alter Ego needs double time on their effort, which leaves them vulnerable to errors getting punished.
Well, I mean, sure, yes, but at the same time, who's the one finding the space and who denied the initial stacks at the beginning when we saw Arfi reach critical mass? It was Edward, because nobody else was able to do it. And the perfect chain CC with the rest of the team, I got to give it to even Yue, because those moments were all thanks to them. Those big playmaking moments that we've been waiting so long for only happened at the end when it was their time to feel comfortable.
Gentlemen, we can argue all night long, rather not, about who the MVP of this series is. But what we can say is Aurora may have unlocked a new style of play, because for the first time in a while, at least in the run in M7, they now showed us that, hey, we can funnel. We can go all in on Domenkite and win against the best here in the World Championships.
Alter Ego had that in the bank, but then it's Aurora who cashed in that win. A huge win for Aurora Gaming Philippines and the Philippines as a whole, because now there is an upper bracket final slot for them where they will face off against Selangor Red Giants. But I'm looking forward to hearing from Domenkite and Aurora Gaming PH with an interview with Rose on the stage to celebrate their moment.
Congratulations once again to Aurora Gaming Philippines! What an amazing best of 5. It was so close in that last game. Tell us, Edward, how are you feeling right now?
Happy.
Happy. Yes, I could see that they're very happy. But Domenkite, coming into this game, we know that Alter Ego was practically on a roll, right? In the Swiss stages, and you are the first team to actually make them lose a match in front of their home crowd. Do you feel any pressure at all coming into this matchup against Alter Ego?
Actually, wala kasi confident kami sa team na kaya namin sila. So, yun, we came prepared lang for the game, tapos yun, nakita naman sa game.
He said that actually they didn't feel any pressure going up against Alter Ego because they came fully prepared and very much confident to face Alter Ego, and he thinks they managed to show it in the game just now.
Honestly, we saw it. We saw it in the game. Game number 1, it was a little, shaky, but afterwards, you guys came back full throttle. As an Indo, I was like, But still very proud of you boys. Now, Edward, once again, waiting for you on the other side of the upper brackets. Finals tomorrow is SRG. Now, when was the last time you faced SRG? You've never faced SRG, right?
Maybe, I don't know.
We don't have knowledge that you've met up against SRG, so we want to know what you think about this team.
I think they're good in
Go.
Tingin ko magaling sila sa lahat ng aspect ng laro, kaya kanina nung laban nila sa Aurora Turkey, na-reverse sweep pa nila yung series.
He thinks that SRG is actually really good at every aspect of the game, and watching from the matchup against Aurora Turkey just now, they even managed to get a reverse sweep.
So with that in mind, how confident are you up against SRG?
10.
Oh, 10 out of 10 in terms of confidence. Now, Domenkite, I see in the audience, although it is the home ground heroes actually playing, I see that a few of the Auroras flew here to Jakarta to support you guys all the way from the Philippines. Is there anything you want to say?
Maraming salamat sa mga sumusuporta sa Aurora. Thank you din sa mga nagpunta dito sa venue. Sa mga nanonood din online, maraming salamat guys and patuloy niyo lang kami supportan.
He said thank you very much to everybody who's been supporting Aurora in their journey, especially to the Auroras who flew to Jakarta just to give them support. He also wishes that everybody back at home will continue supporting Aurora Gaming Philippines.
And with that, once again, congratulations, boys, as we're going to throw it over back to our casters to break down that match. You guys know what to do.